This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel, and joining me, as always, from the frozen tundra known as Arizona, say hello to Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Summer officially starts today.
I can see. You packed away your winter sleeves.
Yeah, don't need those. Temperature's way too high. So, yep. Got the no sleeves going.
Can we fix that for next week's show? What? Can we put the sleeves back
sleeve,
on?
2 sleeves? I don't know. We'll see.
Multiple sleeves, as many as you can fit on there.
Got more sleeves
would be a real improvement.
Be like that episode of Friends where I'm just putting on more clothes and I've just got everything on.
Could I be wearing any more sleeves?
Could I?
That was the line.
I'm not gonna do that.
That was the line. Can't do any better than that. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. And if you could do us a kindness, go over there. Why can I never find that stupid graphic? There it is, right there. You can see. There it is, over there, up, right there on the screen. Find the show. If you listen to the show through the app, put us in the #1 position. It does help us out in some way. I don't know. I can't get in touch with anybody there anymore because everyone's been fired or let go, and it's just somehow all running all by itself. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, you can go over there and do us a kindness by leaving us a positive review. It does help out the program. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we do this show, subscribe. It's free to our live rooms, either on YouTube or on Twitch, all under It's Eric Nagel. You hit the like, subscribe, notifications, lets you know when we post new stuff, when we go on, so you can come in here and throw your money around like the big spenders that you are in the chat. It all goes to Jordan, so you could see why we don't get many super chats.
For more chats, you'll get more sleeves.
Oh, look at that. Or less, depending on who's throwing the money around there. I don't know. If somebody comes in with a $50 or $100 super chat, maybe that shirt's got to go, Jordan.
I mean, I think we've made that threat in the past, and I think rightfully so, no one's ever taken us up on it. So I think we're good.
Fair enough. Lots going on. A lot is happening. I want to talk to you about a really, really pressing issue, the consumer. So we have a bunch of videos that are coming, and new snacks are still unfolding. Mm-hmm. One of which I want to show to the audience. You can see right here.
Is it the Pringles?
The new collab with Miller Lite. So we've got, I don't have big enough hands to hold 3 of them, or much less 2 of them. Can you see them? I don't know. The middle ones, no, that sucks. All right. First of all, red, white, and blue, because America. 2, the beer braised steak.
Okay.
Looks fantastic. The beer can chicken, which I always hear people talking about. Remember, there was a time where Howard was into grilling for like a short period of time, and all he's like, I make beer can chicken, and apparently it's one of the easiest, laziest ways to do anything.
I've always wanted to try it. I just have never done it. Like, I've had someone do it like for me, like someone's made it and I've had it. I mean, I don't
it's okay
know if it tastes any different.
People
but,
that like
I'm fine with it.
People that like beer can chicken are the same people that think that, I boil the hot dogs in beer because it tastes better. It doesn't. All those people that think cooking with beer is the answer and the way to do things, it's not. It's terrible. The final one is grilled beer brats. This one could be interesting.
Could be.
I don't know. But we have those coming to the consumer soon. We have a whole bunch of different Sprites. And because Lay's does not learn from their past mistakes, we've got the bacon grilled cheese from Lay's.
Okay.
We've got the Valentina and lime.
That's the only one that I think I'm looking forward to trying.
It could be interesting. I'm willing to give this the benefit of the doubt, but again, Lay's regular potato chips, all their flavors are derivative of like 3 different flavor combinations.
Right.
So there's that. And then we've got Korean style fried chicken.
Which, to be honest with you,
is
probably
always
much like the Pringles, are going to taste like chicken bouillon cubes.
It's always disappointing because I like if you can find like a Mongolian barbecue place that can do some Korean style stuff, or just any place that does flat out Korean style barbecue, it's fantastic. But every time they try to infuse it into a snack, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes too.
Speaking of barbecue, I just do want to do a quick shout out to our buddy Ari. He's been reaching out to you and I about some barbecuing tips.
Oh, the smokers.
The smoker tips.
Yes.
He's given me the ideas that I made a comment that I didn't want to go like with an electric smoker because of the smoke ring. And he was telling me that that's mainly for show. That's mainly for people to be out there, to show off. So, I mean, I may, for ease of use, may go for an electric smoker at some point just to try my hand at smoking my own meats. Just start me off. So I do appreciate his input. If anyone wants to reach out, feel free to give us some advice, point us in the right direction. I always love a good listener interaction. So I appreciate his words.
Yes, I have taken copious notes and been looking around at things online and realizing, wow, these look pretty good. Oh, these are several $1,000s. And I'm like, well, let's figure out. I don't want to go, basic level smoker that you just see on the floor of a Lowe's or Home Depot. I want to go a little bit higher than that, but not into the multi-$1,000 atmosphere of people who are way better at this than we are. So,
right.
Like I will everyone keeps telling me the egg, that green egg, and I understand it. It looks fantastic. I've seen what it can do. I'm just not ready to spend the money on that particular one yet.
Well, and smoking meats is such a time-consuming ordeal. You got to really pay attention to things. And right now, I don't think I'm at the point where I have the attention span to be that involved. So if I can find something that gives me both ease of use and not so much the time commitment, then I think I'm going to be good. So I'm kind of gone in the middle. But yeah, those eggs get very expensive. I see a lot of people, especially like when I was watching a lot of those barbecue like competition shows, a lot of people have those as like a side gig. Like they'll do like the smaller meats, like some sausages, some chicken or something like that. But most of them have the bigger rigs, and I kind of want a middle ground. So we'll see. Yes,
we will. We'll get to that now that summer is officially here, starting this weekend.
Yeah.
With Memorial Day weekend here in these United States. And as always, we have to point out this is not a celebratory time in the sense of, yay, celebrate the veterans in the military service. It's not that. That's Veterans Day. Memorial Day is to remember those who have served and have either passed on or fallen. It's that kind of tribute towards it. So,
and we celebrate by getting really drunk and eating crashing boats on our lakes.
A lot of cheap barbecue. Like yes, that is the way. But just so you know, it's not like, look, go and if you see a military guy and you see them, they're wearing their hat, their whatever identification, you can go, thank you for your service, buy him a beer, buy him dinner. Still do that. You can go and do that. This is not that particular holiday to celebrate that. These are the people who have passed, who have fallen, who have given everything for this country. That's what we're celebrating. That's what we're remembering. Veterans Day is when you can go
to one
nuts.
of those guys.
The what?
Do you think it'd be weird to go up to one of those guys and be, instead of like saying thank you for your service, go, sorry you lost your friends? Like, do you think maybe that, like, this is the holiday?
I apologize. I don't know what he's going for there. He's going rogue on me, and I don't know what he was trying to do. What was that?
No, I mean, like, this is the memorial. Be like, instead of thanking for their service, apologize that they lost their buddies. Like, they just go the opposite route.
No.
Because it's, we're still remembering.
I understand that, but unless they're telling, oh my God.
Thanks for all their service, everybody.
Unless they're telling you tales of the tape, their military, stories. And they talk about who they served with, who they fought with, and who has, no longer with us. That's when you say, well, I'm sorry to hear about your friends. They sound like courageous men and women or whatever. You don't just go pat them on the back. It's like, hey, sorry about your friends.
Sorry about your friend. Also, that line
And
is
then
open
fist
if you want
bump.
to go check out.
No,
I wouldn't fist bump. You wouldn't know what to do.
because you're so un-American. So un-American.
I am half Belgian.
I was trying to see. We should have I thought we had it up here. I guess we don't.
The
4th of July background. I know it's not 4th of July, but I'm just saying it was labeled 4th of July background.
something American.
Yeah. What about that? Is that good? Or is that really fit?
More of a 3D glasses situation.
That is kind of true. All right, we'll go back to
No
the
one needs to
thing.
see this in 3D.
Never mind. All right.
We'll find it.
So let's reset from that. We've got a lot to get into today. We've got Katy Perry updates for you. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL in a couple of minutes. I have Doctor Who clips from last week's episode that I need to show you, and the atrociousness of what they're putting out there and trying to make a thing. They made a song.
Yeah, that's.
And they're trying to make this a thing, and it's just mind-blowing in the worst kind of way. Yeah. Casey, I see in the chat's filling up there. Casey in the chat said, I haven't tried the Korean barbecue chicken yet because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm with you. We've tried
It
other...
says Lay's. You're going to be disappointed.
But remember, we had the Korean Doritos that came in that were Korean, but it's some kind of nighttime chicken where, like if you're out here, you're going out for food at night, you're thinking tacos or pizza or something like that, but there's some kind of nighttime grilled chicken.
I was going to say,
that's big in Korea.
Once we post all the consumer stuff, we reviewed the flaming hot Korean style barbecue.
Correct.
So that's I think the latest other than the Lay's. So
Korean food, great. Infused into chips and snack food, not that much.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Copyright that. I don't think anyone's ever said that before. You went out and about. Where were you this week?
I've had quite a week, actually. Like most weeks, my life seems pretty mundane. This week has been like constant things happening. Monday night, I left a little work early and went and saw Tom Jones in concert.
Did you put sleeves on for him?
Yes, he even got a collared shirt. He is. Look,
so I rank behind Tom
you've got
Jones.
Your hoodies.
I get it.
Sleeveless summer starts today. So yeah, no, I went to go see Tom Jones. 85 years old next month. Moves like an 85-year-old, but I swear to God, still sings fantastic. It was my first time getting to see him live. I don't know why I waited this long, but still a great show. Like it was really entertaining. I wouldn't say he hit the hits. Like he had two songs that you would consider the hits,
right?
But he did a lot of new stuff from his last album that he put out a couple years ago. He did some covers like "Kiss" from Prince. He did that song that we had did the video for on the show a couple weeks back. If I only knew.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, he was doing that, and it was just like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, did he do his cover of "Burning Down the House"?
No, he didn't. But I know the one you're talking about, and
it's him in the Cardigans, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that did that one. Look, if he didn't perform that one, that's fine. I'm okay with that. He's got a plethora of hits that you'll be fully entertained by. But it would be interesting to see if he did "Burning Down the House."
No, he didn't. But this was weird because this concert, it was sold out, like
as
wall
it
to
should
wall.
be.
Like everybody other than me and I'll give her a shout out, Casey in the chat here. I think everybody was not even under 65. This was like sponsored by AARP. Everybody in attendance was old, like super old.
Well, of course it's going to be.
It was.
He's not really for the kids anymore, know?
No. Well, and there was like people there like holding up signs, "I love you, Tom," and she was like, 75. Like her young crush was Tom Jones, and I'm just like, it was an experience to see how many old people, like people were there in like their retirement, golf shirts and their bowling shirts, and like they had hats on, fedoras, like and
those were just the hipsters in their 20s.
Right. Those were everybody under me. But yeah, it was interesting. Like the amount of walkers, canes, wheelchairs at this event was the most like insane amount that I've ever seen. You know, you're going into these places and you're like, okay, I got to go up one level to like the section 201s, and everybody is waiting for the elevator because they can't take their walkers and their electric scooters up the stairs. So I'm just like walking up the stairs, flaunting my youth. Like it was insane. It was like
flaunting your youth.
it was crazy, but I gotta say it was a very fun experience just to see him out there. Like I said, he's moving a little slower. He's 85. He's shuffled his way over to the his microphone, but sounds great. Like he did like kind of alternate versions, like a more bluesy version of Sex Bomb. He did like a more like Spanish version of Delilah. He did like What's New Pussycat. I'm trying to think of like.
Do you have any clips of him?
I'll try to put some into the thing, and we'll do that. But
it's too late for that. Don't worry about that.
But yeah, no, it was he was very fun. It was very, very fun. I just couldn't believe how old the entire crowd.
I've told the story many times throughout the history of this show. Is my brother and I are big Neil Diamond fans, and we went to see Neil Diamond at the Garden.
I would love that.
Who's going to pass up that, right?
Right.
We got good tickets through a connection, and we're in a like a box seats section. But we looked around, and I'm elbowing my brother. We're the youngest people there.
That's how it was, yeah.
Everybody was in wheelchairs or walkers or had assistants or something with them. Like there was old people everywhere. I'm looking for people that were even my parents' age, and I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah.
Or at least they weren't in the sections that we were at, because we were like, if you're facing the stage, we're if you're looking at it, so stage left, right? Is that how that works? Right. So yeah, looking at the stage off to the left, one tier off the floor. So you're at level with the stage, so you see everything, right? Okay. We're having a great time, but everyone's ancient as hell. And we're just sitting there watching the whole show, and then here's my brother and I singing Forever in Blue Jeans and Play Me, Desiree, Sweet Caroline, of course, is, one of his encores.
What? Yeah.
But there's something, and I'm glad you got to experience that. There's something about these performers of another era that, look, as unkind as this is going to sound, on their way out, and getting a chance to see them in their twilight of their career. And it's not like a Frankie Valli situation.
I kept making that reference because I'm like, at least he's moving his arms. He's really singing. He's engaging with the crowd. Someone yells like, I love you. He responds. Frankie Valli is literally a Disneyland animatronic of Abraham Lincoln at this point. Like his mouth is moving like this, but the words aren't going to what he's saying.
Right.
And it's almost embarrassing. This was not that at all. Like, I can forgive the fact that he's not dancing around stage at 85. I understand that that's what it's going to be. Not everybody's going to be a Mick Jagger running up and down doing the chicken dance.
No.
But the fact that he was still singing his own songs, putting a new spin on it because he's a little older, maybe he's not hitting some of the notes he hits, still fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic.
I'm waiting for him now. I think the last thing he needs to do is show up on Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah, because he's Welsh.
Yeah, he's like one of the most famous Welshmen ever.
The one thing about the entire show that actually made me mad to the point where it was like, I couldn't believe it, was there was this couple in front of us. And not to say that, this is an issue as far as like their makeup or who they are.
Right.
But they were like a Filipino couple.
Why they gotta be Filipino?
Because they were, and this plays into part of the stories because Filipino people not exactly super tall, and we're sitting in seats.
They're munchkins.
No one's getting up to shake their butts or anything. They're just all sitting down and clapping their hands, doing their thing. But these people, this lady in front of us, would not stop recording the entirety of this concert.
How old?
They were probably maybe in their 50s, if
in their 50s, and they're doing that.
The entire time. This lady would not put down her phone, to the point where people in front of her... You leaned over and
smacked it out of her hand?
I wanted to.
And yell at her, point at her and go, be present. Be in the moment.
We were making comments loud enough for them to hear. At one point, I wanted to zoom in because she was live streaming it to her Facebook. I wanted to zoom in with my phone to find her Facebook and get on there and start commenting, knock it the fuck off. Like, what are you doing? But she's doing this the entire time. And at one point, the couple in front of her leaned in a certain way where it was obstructing her camera work. So the husband starts tapping the guy on the shoulder. Hey, can you move? This almost started a fight between the couple in front of them and the couple in front of us. So we're just like watching this happen. Like, what are you doing? And then the rest of the show, seriously, the entire time, just recording everything. Not one song was watched by her live. She had to watch it through the screen. And I just could not believe it. I'm starting to realize, like, maybe you don't take as much footage. Maybe you start enjoying the company you're with and what you're watching. This lady did not put her phone down one time. And to the point where even when she wasn't recording, she had her phone out and she kept scrolling to the apps that she wanted to get into and would like hover her finger over like the Facebook app and then like would pull back. It was almost like compulsion.
Huck a
and
beer at her.
It was so ridiculous. Like it was.
Throw
it was
something
bad.
at her. Put popcorn in her hair so she doesn't feel it, but it's still in there. Like she fell down on a dirty movie theater floor.
Yeah, it was bad. And the only other part that was really annoying about it is getting out of the parking structure when you have the entirety of the population that went to that concert being in their 90s. It took forever, like because people were like loading up their wheelchairs, doing all this stuff. People would drive slow.
All those assistant vans,
those rascals van. Yeah, exactly. So that took a little bit longer, but otherwise it was a really fun experience. Like I'm really glad I got to see him in concert and do all that. So that was great. The other thing that happened this week is that last week we talked about...
Hold on. Before you get off the Tom Jones here, Eric Maz is in the chat, and it's saying that 84 years old and still putting on shows is pretty amazing. It is.
It was.
If you're able to do that, then yeah, more power to you. Like when you see certain comics that are out there that are in their 70s and 80s and can still perform. Don Rickles, Pat Cooper, when they were alive, and they were still able to do it. But then you go to the other side of it where, again, Frankie Valli looks like when they thawed Mr. Burns out in the future for Lisa's wedding and they're holding him up there. And it's like, how we doing, fellas? Well, we've solved, have you cured, what was it? He's like 19 shots in the back. And he goes, we're up to 13. And they're like, yay. Right. He's being held up there like a puppet. If you're old enough and you can still do it, more power to you. Go. And as long as it's not an embarrassment. Somebody I know went to.
He did a great show.
Somebody I know went to see. It was his final show. Johnny Mathis.
Oh, okay.
I think it was somewhere here in New Jersey. Went to see Johnny Mathis, and they showed me the very end of the show. They took a little phone video. You could tell he's old, but he was still belting it out. He was not. He doesn't have the stage presence anymore. He like to move around and to physically emote with the music, but he just sang there. He sang what he could, the best that he could, and final show, standing ovation. How old's Johnny Mathis now? He's got to be in his 80s.
Give or take.
Close to 90s, somewhere in there. Fantastic. And look, glad that you got a chance to see the guy, because who knows how much longer he has. Not saying his lifespan, but his voice could go out, or he just doesn't want to do it anymore. So
well, and that reminds me, the other thing about the show that was really interesting was that literally, I feel like every song he sang was about death and dying. He did a song about getting old. He did another Willie Nelson cover about kind of like
he's old school.
The mistakes of his life.
They all did that.
One of the last songs was like a song about like he doesn't have regrets in his life, and it's like he lived a good life. And I'm sitting there going, he's making me feel like death is impending. Like
all that old world thinking was all like that. I mean, some of the lullabies.
Right.
We're all about the plague and death and kids dying. Molly Malone. Sounds like a very pretty song, Irish lullaby kind of thing, until you find out that the girl died of, I forget what she had, leprosy or something. And then, now it's like at the end, the twist in the song is like, we still remember sweet Molly Malone. You're like, oh my God, the kid died.
Right.
And then Ring Around the Rosie is all about the Black Plague.
Supposedly, yeah. Like that's the
Rockabye Baby, a kid's falling out of a tree and dying. Like all those things. Yeah, I guess that's the way they used to deal with death. It's like, hey, let's make it into a song and sing it enough times that it softens the blow or numbs you, desensitizes you.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. Yeah, like the first song was "I'm Growing Old." He went to Tower of Song, "Not Dark Yet," and then he like brought it up beat with "Not It's Not Unusual" and "What's New Pussycat." I was like, that's great. And then he did Delilah and all this stuff. But yeah, like the Windmills of Your Mind, Lazarus, man. It's like a lot of it was about like getting old and really hitting that last part of your life. Like you're about to die.
Imagine he closes the show with like.
Then he goes with Sex Bomb, and it's like, okay, what's going on?
Imagine he closes the show with like Blink 182's "Damn It," and you're like,
yeah,
what?
That's what I thought. Like my whole joke was like, well, it's like he did a great show where it's like he was on by like 7:40. His show started at 7:30. He 10 minutes late, and then he was done by like 9:30. And it was like the earliest concert I've ever been to.
That's fantastic.
But my thought was like, what if like his opener was like a metal band out of Wales? Like he just comes out like it's like, okay, we're gonna start the crowd off with like some death metal, and then he comes out and sings about death. And
ladies and gentlemen, horse lips.
Exactly.
And then they come out there and they play their 4 songs that they're known for in the UK, not anywhere else in the world. And then he comes on.
Yeah. So it was a very, very fun show, very interesting show. And
can I show you a juxtaposition to a very fun show, a very interesting show, and glad that he's touring?
Yes.
I have a Katy Perry update for you.
Oh, let's do that.
Since we've been talking about how terrible her, was it Lifetime's tour. And they really thought that this was going to be this year's Eras tour. Like everyone's going to be talking about Katy Perry. It's going to be a worldwide phenomenon, and it is not. We talked about the video that we have up on our YouTube that's still blowing up, still going crazy about the tour footage of how she looks like a fembot malfunctioning,
right?
And can't get anything right. And then we played the clips about her Las Vegas residency, where she's performing next to a giant toilet bowl with a piece of poop coming out and singing California
bad.
Girls. Well, here's the latest update on this. So apparently it was revealed that her residency with Resorts World in Las Vegas is been officially considered a financial failure. And that was years ago, like 3 years ago.
Something like that.
She was doing that, right? So when she was being pitched to do the residency, because the Britney Spears residency, whatever you think of her or not, was a big success.
Right.
They were starting to do more of these limited run residencies. Christina Aguilera had one. Elton John had one. These were all residencies.
Boys.
They were all residencies that did fantastic.
Right.
Katy Perry came up in discussion, and there was a bidding war between Resorts World. Which is the plural?
It's Resorts World.
Resorts World and Caesar's Palace. They were just throwing all kinds of money at her to try to get the rights to her residency. And apparently they lost out because Resorts World went to break the bank and offered her a ridiculous amount. She was getting paid somewhere between $750,000 to $900,000 a show. Not for the run. A show to perform her mini concert series at their hotels in Las Vegas. So this bidding war happened. Caesar's Palace lost out. Now, how we found out that it was a complete financial failure was not on the part of Resorts World. It was on the part of Caesar's Palace releasing the information. And saying a representative for the casino said, technically Caesars lost out, but in the end, Caesars Palace really won.
Nope.
She was making $750,000 to $900,000 a show because of the bidding war, and the entire run she had underperformed, and Resorts World lost an incredible amount of money. So they never made back anything close to what they had to shell out for her. So that means that comes out of the casino end. And that's not good because you never touch the casino money, right? Adding to that, because of the bad press and the awkward situation back in April when she went up on the Blue Origin space flight. She used that trip to promote a track listing for her upcoming tour that was about to start. And the tour, the Lifetimes tour, was going to support an album that she put out in September of 2024, her 7th studio album. It was called 143, which was the old beeper code for love, right?
Yeah, or like I love you, yeah.
The album disappeared from the charts after only 2 weeks. So the album tanked. Several months later, the space stunt tanks. You launch a tour, a worldwide tour, and it's tanking. The tour is struggling with poor ticket sales and production delays. So not only the video footage we got from the opening of the tour, which was in somewhere in Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, it started in Mexico.
It went from Mexico, then went through South America. Everything she touches turning to shit.
Mm-hmm.
So compared to Tom Jones in his 80s, still out there crooning to a packed house. Everyone loves it. Katy Perry, not so much.
Not so much, no.
Well, there you go. What else did you do? You said you had some other stuff that you did before we move on.
So let's see. Let me bring the show stuff up. So this past week, actually yesterday, the tickets for the Future Ruins Festival went on sale. This is the festival that we were talking about last week, where Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross kind of put together like a who's who of like modern composers for movies to do kind of a thing. They did John Carpenter, like Halloween, and all these other things. Tickets went on sale yesterday. General admission for these, $299.
Is this like a field level kind of thing, or are these like amphitheaters?
It's at the. They're saying it's like the Los Angeles horse training grounds in Los Angeles. Okay. So most likely just set up a stage, kind of a Coachella situation where
field
they got
level stuff, right? So it's standing room only, I guess, for the general admission. Yeah,
$300 was just the general admission price.
Look, to be honest, $300 for that lineup that they were putting out there isn't terrible.
No, but
I'm not, and this is coming from the guy who doesn't like paying for concerts.
But for this type of concert, it seems a little steep to me.
Really?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like you've got TV and movie composers. This is not like you're going in moshing and doing all this stuff. This is not like a festival like a When We Were Young. These are people, orchestras and composers, and maybe you're doing.
So you're expecting this somewhere like in a Lincoln Center kind of setting, like an orchestral
love like a Hollywood Bowl situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like that would be great
good too. Yeah.
They do all those big things where they do live Disney and they do all the the music and stuff like that. That would be great. I just feel like almost $300 for this just feels steep. Like they're capitalizing on, honestly, right now, just on really Trent Reznor. Like no one's going to pay that for John Carpenter unless you're a super
I bet you it's
fan.
not even for that. I bet you it's Ticketmaster.
I'm sure it is.
Or Live Nation, whoever's behind it. That's why.
So
they're the usual culprits.
So this will be the one time I'm saying, you know what? I think I'm going to pass on a concert as much as I would love to go.
Right.
So.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And then I had the Walmart incident. I don't know if you want to talk about it. It's up to you. I know you had your
Walmart incident.
The Walmart incident where you were capturing people fighting. I had a different Walmart experience.
All right, real quick. What was yours?
So I'm at the store. It's a little bit later at night. Walmart's now not 24 hours, so they're closing at 11 o'clock. I'm there probably close to 10 o'clock. You had said, hey, I need you to check something. I'm stopping in for some stuff. This was like Sunday night. So I'm in an aisle, checking out, grabbing some things. And out of the corner of my eye, I see another person down the aisle. Like, again, it's late, not a lot of people. They drop to the ground. Like, it was just like, what the fuck happened? I look over and they're on the ground and then they're shaking. They're convulsing. It's like they're having like a seizure. I run over there. I push the cart out of the way, figure out they're having a seizure. So I roll the lady over to her side. I had two shirts on. Like I had an undershirt and then I had like, just a t-shirt on. She had sleeves. So it was great. So she gets the sleeves. That's why I don't have sleeves. And so I take that off, roll it up.
Stop acting like you gave up your sleeves to save somebody's life.
It's a joke. Yeah, that's the thing. Giving up my sleeves to save a life. So I got my shit under. Call out to this kid stalking the things, and he's got like headphones on. He's not paying attention. I'm like, I need you to go get somebody, get some help, whatever. So instead of calling like 911 or whatever, he runs off, gets a manager. They come back. They're like, oh yeah, something's going on. I'm like, get the fuck on the phone and get somebody. So they finally get EMS to get there. And it was just so crazy that it's like, I have never been in a situation like I've been in similar situations where I'm trying to help out and being nice. You just do what you can.
That's your first problem.
Don't help out.
Nope.
You're like, whoop, I better get to the cereal aisle. But yeah, it was just weird. Like, you're sitting there at Walmart finding people fighting, and I'm trying to keep people from like dying at a Walmart. It was a weird experience. It was kind of fun. Like,
go over there, you just use your foot to kind of roll them over so they're on their side so they don't choke, and then you move their cart out of the way and you continue on amongst your business.
What it was like, I think the running joke you and I were talking about, I was like, hey, I need you to go get help, but I also need you to go in the back to see if you have like this in stock, but do that first. It's like, I need you to help me out before you help them out. But,
yeah, and then do you have any more of the strawberry cinnamon toast crunch? I'm looking for that.
I was looking for the actual the cereal you were eating last week on the show, which, by the way,
the orange
got a lot of run
creamsicle
with some of the people.
The orange creamsicle Captain Crunch.
I had people going, I can't believe he kept that bit going that long. And I'm like, yeah, he committed to eating cereal the whole time. And then like some people were like, man, I hate when people eat on the shows. So
that's exactly it. I hate that too.
So do I. But it was my opportunity to push the consumer. I was like, if you hate that so much, come eat and watch us eat on this channel. So, I pushed the consumer, but yeah, it was very interesting to have that happen. And I was being told that like, hey, don't go shopping so late. I was like, well, whatever.
See, Scout Finch knows Eric needs his treats.
He does need his treats. Maybe softer foods where you just chew, but you're not crunching in the microphone.
I'm eating,
this is Eric eating applesauce.
I'm eating gummy melatonin. So that Jordan hopes I fall asleep during the middle of the show and he can just leave.
So yeah. So I've had a weird week of, helping people out, finding out everyone's really old at concerts and
apparently really old at Walmart too, because they're collapsing there as well.
I think she was probably in her like 60s. Yeah, it was weird. So I stayed till EMS got there.
Did you talk to the manager and say, hey, look, I kind of helped with that. Is there anything we can
do I get like a
can I get at least the employee discounts or something? Can I get some kind of coupon?
Yeah, that would be great. Well, but yeah, that was it was just an interesting week so far. I don't usually have a lot of interesting, crazy stuff happening. So
right.
I think I'd bring it to the show. Anything crazy going on with you?
Well, Jared the Geek in the chat, our pal Jared is in there. Bring back the Skyline Chili. I was looking, it's not here. It must be over there in the Wall of Fame of stuff.
I was going to say, because you have that and the Wendy's chili you never
I know. So, and I just walk around singing La Cucaracha, shaking cans of chili.
It's just weird sound.
Yeah, I'll bring that back for the next week, or maybe after the break when we go to the bathroom. I'll go grab the can and we'll see how it's doing. We've had that can for I think 5 years now.
Before I joined the show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, somebody sent it. I think 2019. Almost, maybe it's almost 6 years, but nonetheless,
gross.
All right, let's talk a little NFL stuff. And since we're going to do that, I am bringing up my pal Josh Cohen. ESPN Radio. He's out of West Palm Beach. Does a internet portion of it now too, called Questionable Call, and it's kind of like what SportsCenter used to be. The countdowns, quick hits, and what have you. And you get everything that you need to know within like 4 to 6 minutes. Something's going on with the NFL that I was not expecting, because usually the last several weeks it's been about Belichick and the young girl he's been shacking up with.
Possible escort.
Or stuff with Aaron Rodgers, or this player's getting screwed over by this team through the Jets, and all that kind of weird shit's going on. I'm sure you're familiar with this. The Tush Push is the big topic of controversy for the NFL.
The other name that has gone by, I think this last season, was the brotherly shove, which I think both are equally just as stupid.
Because it's Philadelphia that's doing it. Let's take a look.
As the proposed ban on the Tush Push has been voted down, we now have major drama as things have gotten extremely personal. As we roll, presented by Revo Rideshare. Ride for less, drive for more. Download now, Revo Rideshare. Up first, take a look. It is official. The Packers' proposal to ban the Tush Push has failed. It did not receive the required 75% support. Final vote, 22-10. At least 24 votes were needed to ban it. Yeah, and Packers head coach Matt LaFleur tried to claim that it just isn't football.
Hold on, before we go to the clip, the fact that you're trying to ban a play like this, it's not like you're digging your cleats into a guy's foot so he can't run or stepping on his hands or something like that. You're just shoving your own player that has the ball.
Well, what a lot of teams, like with Green Bay proposing it, even the Chiefs voted to ban it, is what's happening is that it's...
Because they're not good at it?
Well, it's not that they're not good at it. It's a hard play to block, which is fine. I understand that. But what you're having is a lot of injuries because of it. Like, it's just the way everybody has to block.
You know what else you have a lot of injuries from? Football.
Well, I know. I'm not defending it.
I got concussed.
I'm saying that's the reasoning that they're trying to ban it.
I got concussed from the Tush Push. Although that could be the show title.
Yeah.
All right.
Concussed from the Tush Push.
Continue on, Josh.
Say, I don't think it's a great football play. It's more of a rugby play.
Yeah, and now we know exactly why it got shot down. Quote, one club source told ESPN they'd be voting against it because they don't believe the proposal is, quote, honest about the reasons. An NFL head coach told ESPN that he believes it's motivated by pettiness because some teams don't have a quarterback capable of running it.
That I agree
quote, it's
with.
weak. It's punishing a team who became excellent at executing the play. Then the other teams copied it. They can't do it as well. Quote, it reeks of jealousy.
Yeah. It seems exactly that. It's like, we can't do this. They're good at it. So we want to ban it because...
Well, the NFL has always been reactionary to things that don't go
or
the way
petty.
of the team. Or petty to things that don't go their way. It's the reason why the overtime rules changed because the Bills didn't get the ball back because Kansas City got it, and then they ended up winning the game. It's not the ideal situation for Buffalo, so they complained, and then they changed the rules. They changed the kickoff rules because people were finding that it was, things weren't working out a certain way. It's always reactionary to the loudest people in the room, and it's funny that the last couple years things end up changing because of things that happen with the Chiefs. Like every time something goes the way of the Chiefs, it's got to be looked at and banned.
Mm-hmm. So now they're doing the same thing to other teams.
Now it's happening to Philly. Exactly. And if Philly is good at executing the Tush Push or the brotherly shove, and now other teams can't emulate it, and it's happening. Like it's a play that is very successful. I know there's been times where the Chiefs have been able to defend against it. There was a time where I think it was in the Super Bowl where every time they tried to do it, a player on the opposite team kept trying to jump over the line to hit the quarterback. And that ended up happening so many times that they had to bring back a rule that they haven't executed since like the 20s, where the refs, they can't move the ball forward anymore to punish the offsides. So they're just going to award a score. And that became a controversy. So I think it's become reactionary. It's become, like he's saying, pettiness, because if you can't do it, why should somebody else get to?
Right.
And, it's happened against the Chiefs enough. And I know that's why the Chiefs voted against, to ban the actual play. But I'm surprised, honestly, that it didn't pass. And, 75%, it's a hard threshold to meet when you've got a lot of teams that can execute that effectively. So,
Tush, push in the bush. Don't step on your toes because you might get smushed. I'm a brother from around the way. What can I say? Bend the corner like 3, like Dr. Dre.
We're going to get banned on YouTube. We're going to get copyrighted on that one.
All right, so let's go back to the illegal football clips that we're playing.
And the Eagles' official response is the textbook definition of petty. The moment it was shot down, the Eagles posted this: push on. And look who they're doing it to. The Packers. Rob says Birds with another win over the Packers. Yeah, but hold on, because it just got personal. As we continue, presented by Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Order online at budschicken.com. Kyle Brandt fired back at LaFleur's claim that the play isn't football.
It's exactly football. Your side pushes, our side pushes. Who can push harder? This is Princeton Rutgers in 1869.
It's now a legitimate shoving match. It's a shoving match.
Claim that it's an unstoppable play.
No, it can't be stopped by your team.
Yeah.
The Eagles can't be stopped.
Yeah, and the NFL absolutely loves this Packers-Eagles drama. Look at the primetime schedule. Monday Night Football, ESPN, ABC, Week 10, primetime, Eagles at Packers. Kyle Brandt says, it lives, good. Now Week 10, do it. Not just do it. First play, 10 times during the game. Then do it last play of the game instead of a kneel down. Yeah, but hang on.
If that's all they're doing, that's a fantastic game.
Just pushing 90% of the plays.
Because another Super Bowl contender is now being exposed for hypocrisy. As we continue, presented by Lindstrom Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Get them online at lindstromair.com. It wasn't just the Eagles. The Buffalo Bills had a ton at risk here as well. As Ebot points out, the vote today, more significant to the Bills than the rest of the league, not named the Eagles. Because Buffalo and Philly ran the play more than the other teams combined the last 3 years, converting it for a TD or first down 87% of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why it's so suspect that Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott actually said this.
Look, we're gonna always act in a way that's best for the health and safety of the players, and I think that's the responsible way to go.
Yeah, and then McDermott got asked, don't you guys run that play?
There's different forms of it out there.
Wow.
I know we are one of the teams that people identify that run it. That's fair.
Yeah, and then
that's like in wrestling when like 4 guys finishing move is the spear, but they call it different names based on the character that's using it.
Yeah. The Bills ran that play, I think, 4 or 5 times in the playoffs against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs stopped it 3 out of like 4 or 5 times. So it's not, they weren't running it effectively, but the Buffalo Bills do run that play a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's hilarious that they were like, well, they were trying to walk it back, but they do run that a lot. So,
you know what it is? It's the one play you knew how to execute by button mashing on Tecmo Bowl. It's like, I'm just going to run that all 4 downs and hopefully I get a touchdown. And there it goes. You got to use other plays. There's like 19 other plays. Yeah, I'm just keep running the same one over and over and you keep winning.
I was in a fighting game with my sister and she's button mashing and she's just kicking me in the corner with Chun-Li. And I was like, why don't you do other moves? She's like, why?
Yeah, why? It's just, I just need the one move all the time. In the chat, Casey saying, I love my Packers, but as the queen of petty, I do recognize that they did this because they lost to the Eagles.
They did.
Makes sense.
He really tries to bullshit us all.
A form of it.
What?
Right, a form of it. So I think it's a loose term, really, in terms of what defines a tush push.
Yeah, but hold on.
What defines a tush push?
Air quotes, tush push.
Yeah, you're shoving the big guy with the ball by kicking his ass through the pads and bulldozing him through your defensive line. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, what can you do?
Because what's next will make millions of football fans furious. As we continue, presented by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. Kyle Brandt reminds us that the tush push is far from automatic.
Did you watch the AFC title game? The Buffalo Bills, who have a bigger quarterback than the Eagles, were stopped twice, my friends, because the defense was prepared, schooled up, and able.
Yeah, but was that actually the Chiefs' defense, or was that blown calls by the officials? As we'll never forget,
don't even start with that
Allen
shit.
makes the first down. They don't call the first down. You see there clearly he made
different
it.
Angle. You can't show that angle.
The question is on the board. Question.
Well, I can't show that angle because it proves him right.
This is slander, my friend. No, the right angle showed that he had his back turned. The ball was on the other side of the line. Do not start with the slander against the Chiefs, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly,
Trust
he made
me,
it.
I've watched this clip.
The question is on the board.
Times.
Question: is the tush push actually good for the NFL? No, it's great for the NFL. Look what we're talking about at the end of May. Look what we're talking about with the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals about to get started. That's right, football and this. And it creates such a rivalry between the Packers and the Eagles, another narrative storyline for the drama machine that is the NFL. No drama when it comes to your rideshare. Download Rebel.
All right, we don't need the rest.
I love how he just works those ad reads in. Well, he's very good at his
He's
job.
brilliant at what he's doing, man. It's like 5 minutes. I got to get 5 sponsors mixed into all of this stuff. So you can't fault the guy.
You know what else needs a push tush? Blue Chew. That's right, Blue Chew. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Really? I don't think that doesn't tie into this at all. But all right, whatever. Casey in the chat, have you guys seen those thirsty trap videos of rugby players? I wouldn't say no if we started bringing in rugby players for the tush push plays.
There have been rugby players that have made the transition from Australia, New Zealand. It's not as prevalent. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to continue doing this kind of play, you're going to get those kinds of players that, will be brought in for like 1 or 2 plays a game. And it's just, that's their specialty, of course.
Right. Well,
yes, those gentlemen are quite fetching.
We'll be tush pushing on in the preseason here, or postseason, depending wherever the line you want to put it at, and see how the NFL still continues to overshadow most of the news of all the other professional sports.
What's going to happen is that those other 10 teams that didn't vote to put it down, it'll come up next season in the offseason, and some of those teams may switch allegiance when they get their butts kicked by whatever team's running this 90% of the time. So this will probably be brought up again at some point. But yeah, for now, the Tush Push pushes on. So
tough shit.
Tough shit.
All right. Moving on. Oh, wait. Josh is texting me. He's like, what the heck are you doing? Funny. All right. Moving on. We've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I want to talk about the Brooklyn Bridge incident, but that'll come up in disasters in just a little bit. I want to talk to you about Doctor Who. So another episode has come and gone, last week's episode. Mm-hmm. He didn't cry in this episode, which
that's good.
Good. But it's all over the place because they were making fun of this thing called Eurovision. You know what Eurovision is?
Yeah, it's like a huge competition of like all the different European countries, and they bring like their best singing competition.
It's not their best.
Like a fake, like just of everything.
It's not their best. A lot of the songs that win are just like schlock pop. Yeah. Like they're really terrible by music standards. And I'm not just saying by people's opinions. By music standards, a lot of it is garbage. Intersex era Eurovision gave us ABBA. Yes, but that was when it was still sort of respectable in the 70s. In fact, that even comes up in this clip I'm about to show you from Doctor Who. This episode all over the place because there was a few things happening here. So one, they're making the whole episode takes place at an intergalactic version of Eurovision, way off in the future, right? Number two, oh God, Josh is in the chat. Tush Push Blue Chew on it. Good. Yeah. Do it. Good for you, Josh. We were just complimenting about how you weave in the sponsorship plugs masterful. As you're going from point to point in your stories. With Doctor Who here, this episode, intergalactic Eurovision song competition, like 1,000 planets or something are all competing for this, and it's transmitting to planets all across the universe.
All of them are still upset Israel was let in.
Correct. They're still trying, up until this point, upset. They're still trying to get Israel out of the intergalactic song competition. There's three things that happened here. One, there's a major overall story arc reveal towards the end. There is the first time showing the dark side of the Doctor in this current version of the Doctor.
Whoa. We're not supposed to talk about
I'm thinking if we clip this and if I just put the dark side of the Doctor with his face on there, we're going to get a lot of cross comments. But
exactly.
It shows the dark side of the Doctor for the first time in this incarnation of the Doctor, right? Also, I can see that they're doubling down or tripling down on pushing the gay agenda in this show because there's been so much outcry about it's like, we don't care if the actor, if he's gay. Nobody cares about that. Stop forcing a lot of that shit into the show. And then you get people online. We've talked about it in the other videos that are on this channel here. If you say anything, oh, you're homophobic, you're racist, it's like, no, maybe the writing sucks. Maybe he's a terrible actor. Maybe all those things, all those points we brought up before. But they force it in. The new thing, it's like, well, it's fiction. Anything can happen in there. Right. But it didn't. In the 60-year history, this wasn't the thing in there. Well, why can't it be? Okay, you have other stuff out there that's real life or even fiction that involves, that lifestyle choice or gender association, all that stuff in those properties. And that's fine. But when you keep walking into existing properties that didn't have that fan base, was not built on that stuff, and said, we need to have that in there now or else. And then you all of a sudden people are out. It's like, this is not what this was supposed to be. Stop doing this. Right. And then they push back. It's like, well, you're the problem. No, you're ruining what this was. You're not being excluded from it, but you don't need to be forced into it as well.
Well, it comes down to like when Tennant or Matt Smith or anybody else was having a bad run. If there was a bad episode, you can criticize it. And not one person said, well, you hate white men, you hate this, you hate this. None of that ever comes up. The second you criticize anything with Jodie Whittaker, it was, well, you hate women, you hate this, you don't want to see this. And it's like, no.
I don't hate her as the doctor.
Yeah, now you can't talk about Shooty McGavin is because he's black, he's gay, he's emotional. It's not meant for you. And it's like, I am allowed to criticize bad storytelling.
Absolutely.
I do it with Star Wars, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. There's bad storytelling.
Your favorite thing is to criticize Star Wars, or you like
just
Star Wars?
As much as yours is to criticize
Doctor Who. Fair enough.
Who.
Okay.
Correct. But like you're allowed to criticize the things that you love. And still be impartial. It's not that you hate that he's black or gay or anything like that. It's that they have focused. They have changed the entire focus on, instead of telling a good story, they're telling the story about his sexuality or this, or he's
all
crying
the time
about something. And it's like, you can move past that. You can still interweave it into a story that still is good. But because you focus 90% of what you want us to look at on this one thing, it becomes that thing.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to criticize it because you have, 60, 70 years, 50 years, whatever, of previous storytelling of this type.
And there's been gay characters throughout the history of Doctor Who. And that's never been a problem. It's just they were never, hey, everybody, stop what you're doing. Pan the camera off the doctor. Focus on them. They're gay. Look at that. That's gay. They're gay. Why aren't you applauding that they're gay? It's like, no one cares that those characters are gay. No one cares about the like in a negative way. Nobody cares about that in a negative way. They're fine. They're adding to the story. They're doing whatever. But that's not the focus. Now you're taking the focus and making it that. And that's what's pissing a lot of people off. So, bring it back to this episode here. I have 3 different cuts. This is the gay cut. And this one is just showing you how they worked everything in there.
That's the unedited. That's the edited show that's going up is the gay cut.
The gay cut, right. This also features this radio guy that I find extremely annoying. His name is Rylan.
Okay.
He's a big British presenter in the UK, at least in England. Apparently, the guy got famous for being a contestant on the X Factor, because the X Factor originated from England. And one of the seasons there, and then he just kept being one of those names that was always around, and then got a radio gig, and he's a presenter. He's a less successful Ryan Seacrest, but more annoying and just more annoying. Fake teeth. He's a young guy. Maybe he's a young guy. I don't know. Maybe he's 30s, 40s. I don't know. But he's had hair transplants. He's had like his skin pulled back. He's got fake teeth. They even emphasize that in this thing here. He's brought back as the host as they release him every time they do this thing every certain amount of years from one of those chambers. What is it called? The
hyperbaric?
No, is that the one where they freeze you in cryogenic?
Oh, okay.
The cryogenic chamber. So he comes out to host, and they're like, "Here's the year, here's the arena, here's the show we're doing," and then he goes, "Great," and then he goes out and do it. Let me just show you how they're forcing a lot of this stuff into the show. Here we go.
Out of cryogenic suspension. Defrost complete.
Venue.
How many arena?
Teeth.
Dazzling.
Ugh.
Yeah, look at him.
This proves that
He's annoying. He's very annoying. This is a very fast cut because we're not seeing things develop. I'm just getting right to the point, and I left the subtitles on so you can see all this. This is talking about, I think ABBA comes up here, or he's talking about some. Look at the slang. Look at the terms. The way they're putting all this stuff in here. That is not what the Doctor does.
the Earth survives.
Oh, in style. I was there in '74 when ABBA won. Olivia Newton-John came fourth. Absolute scenes. Absolute scenes.
Okay, that.
Absolute scenes.
Absolute scenes. What the fuck is that? I had to look that up. Apparently it's a big slang term, dumb Gen Z shit over in the UK, right? It's their equivalent of It's Giving. If you haven't seen that nonsense all the time. And it used to be It's Giving ABBA vibes. Like if you saw something there, it's like, oh, it's giving, McDonald's vibes, something like that. Then they got rid of the vibes part, which vibes, everybody's saying vibes is fucking annoying too. And they've been doing that for a long time, and that's got to stop. But they're saying now it's not It's Giving, insert terminology, vibes. They don't even use the vibes anymore. It's giving Miami. Miami what? Miami vibes? Yeah, but they don't finish it anymore. They post it in text. They say it in videos. It's giving this. And you're like, I wish they were giving you a deportation notice. I wish they were giving you a ban announcement that your channel's going away for this nonsense. I'm sure we're going to get it for saying this stuff, but who cares? I've had it with this stuff. Absolute Scenes is a British thing where they sit there and it's like, oh my God, Absolute Scenes. And you're like, why can't you just say, oh my God, it was amazing? Why do you have to keep coming up with like 7th level removed from the thing you're actually trying to say? Because you need to have a new cool code word. I see that there. Crack the whip. Eric's giving Principal Skinner.
No, it's the kids who are wrong.
It's the kids that are wrong. Exactly. Thank you, Jordan. At least you get this. Big Red Tower. I don't like that modern TV shows have to be tolerated rather than enjoyed. Yes, that is another thing, too. You're missing all the messages and the points. No, I'm trying to be entertained by this shit of a show that I used to really enjoy, and you're just making it miserable. Intersect saying, it's giving me the shits.
I'll bring Star Wars into this. Andor has a character in the show that is in love with another woman. It is part of the plot, but it is not the plot.
Yes.
And it didn't take away from the story. It didn't even enhance the story. It just gave another layer to who this character is.
That's their personal life, or that's what they were dealing with. Yeah.
It was perfectly done. And then they got rid of her because like, God, we don't want that lesbian stuff in there. But, you know what I mean? Like they did it and it worked out great and it was fine.
Right.
This, like when you make it all about that, that's when it's a problem.
All right. So again, this is a quick cut, so we'll pause as we go. But you look at all the stuff they're throwing in here.
Absolute scenes. Absolute scenes.
We're inside a bubble, on a station in orbit.
The universe is wild, babe.
That, babes, honey, darling, sweetie. They're throwing all that shit in there all the time. And you're like, could you stop? Could you stop it? It's annoying.
Oh, it's hardly important, Gary. It's just songs.
I'm not even going to dignify that with the wrist. Actually, no, I will, because it is not just songs, Mike. It's part of who I am. And when you make fun of it, it's like you're making fun of me.
Gary, medical...
See? That kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, they're having a quarrel. Okay, fine.
Well, you could have a quarrel. And, you know, I understand, like, you know, if you're not relating to somebody's thing that they love and then you dismiss it. This I understand. This doesn't bother me. But, like, you know, making the entire focal point, maybe that's the problem.
Get on the wall, break the
ceiling. People argue.
Yeah. Say that. Okay, sweetheart, I've got you.
Oh, you're amazing.
Listen.
You're an amazing little creature.
That's the other shit, too. The guy, he's like a nurse. He's trying to help him, and he's just coming off like they're flirting, like he's hitting on him. Here.
I've got you. Oh, you're amazing. Oh, you're an amazing little creature. You're going to be okay. Now, hold on. Oh.
Okay. Ugh.
Better? Did I just fly through space on a confetti cannon? Yeah. Camp.
See? What is that? Camp. What?
This is like if John Waters was the Doctor. Like, this is just John Waters, the way he speaks. Everything's camp. You know, it's just... I want to watch this season. I just have not had any desire. And every time you bring something up, it just makes me like shy away from it more and just go back to watch an older season.
I will say there have been a lot of decent stories this season. I've been rather impressed how good some of the stories have been.
Yeah.
He still sucks. He's terrible.
Yeah, alive. Yeah?
Look.
Yeah, just about. I love you.
Whoa, time and a place, boys. That was the primitive delta wave aimed at the temporal lobe of the brain.
See, that's thrown in there too, and you're like, really? Oh, we're gonna make out in the middle of the... Stop doing that. Now this is fun because Graham Norton shows up. I'm a fan of Graham Norton. I liked his show.
So good.
It aired for one season in the United States, but I see the clips all the time from his show over in the UK.
Welcome, visitors. Hello. Wishing I hadn't sold my likeness in perpetuity, but here we are.
No way! I met him at Brighton Pride. What a weekend.
I'm Graham Norton, long since dead. Oh, sad face.
Yeah.
See, I'm fine with Graham Norton doing it, but like what you've done is that the Doctor's gay, doing really gay stuff.
I met him at Pride weekend.
Stuff, and now you've got you've got Graham Norton. Like you've really focused the story, not just about the music portion, but just everyone's gay.
Yeah.
Like the future is gay. And that's, I don't know.
I mean, that's your opinion, but for the rest of us, it's just like,
on my family crest.
Again, there's ways to do this without it being so camp and right in front of your face of all this stuff here. I met him at Pride weekend. Oh, really? That's where you met one of the most famous talk show hosts out of the UK?
Right.
Really?
Ran into him at Pride.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I had a hologram expert who could fashion hard light into a tractor beam. Can you do that, Gary?
I'd do anything for you.
Gary.
Keep it in your pants, Gary.
Yeah.
If only I had medical staff.
I'll do anything for you. Back of the queue.
Yeah, see? It's like
Keep it in your
they're
pants,
all...
Bill.
Now they all want to fuck the Doctor? It's like, come on.
I was gonna say, does he have like a catchphrase, like how
No.
have like Alan Z or anything like
No.
that? Like he just throws all of this stuff out there and hopefully something catches at some point.
No, the Ninth Doctor had Fantastic. David Tennant's Doctor had Alan Z. Matt Smith's Doctor had Geronimo. I forgot what Capaldi's one was, and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor just kept saying "brilliant" all the time.
Brilliant, yeah.
He
Or
is
Bam.
just big gay hula doctor. I don't get it. So, all right, that's that was the gay package here.
I did grab a picture real quick of Ryan Clark, and I'm looking at this guy.
Rylan.
Rylan Clark. He looks like he's had work done, and
Of course he does.
Me.
He looks like a gay Zod.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Ah,
That's the
look at
exact
that.
thing I saw.
Nailed it.
I'm sitting there going, this guy should be going after Superman right now. Like,
Yeah.
He should be hanging out with Terrence Stamp, trying to have someone kneel before him. It's so weird.
He should be flying around in a super thin parallelogram, flapping into the
zone.
to the depths of space.
Oh, it's like I'm looking at this guy like, why do I recognize him? And then I realize, correct, he's going after Superman.
Kneel before Zod.
Kneel before Rylan. So, yeah, that guy, no thank you. Again, just throws me off. Like, I don't want to. Big Gay Zod.
Intersect.
Yep.
Big Gay
Got
Zod is a good pot. You know what? I don't know if that'll fly, but I will write that down.
No, because then that we'll fight it and we'll be like, oh, what do you have against gay people?
That. It's giving Zod.
It's giving Zod.
Is what it's doing. All right. Second package. Moving away from the heavily ham-fisted gay stuff.
More gay stuff.
They finally let the Doctor be dark. Good. Now, every version of the Doctor has his cheekiness, as they say, his lovableness. He's crazy. He's all these things. Yeah, but there's a couple of rules about the Doctor that were always so every time. The Doctor lies all the time. Whether it's for the right reason or the wrong reason, the Doctor lies. But you still have to trust him. The Doctor can be vengeful. There's a reason why there's many societies and groups out there that are afraid of the Doctor, even though he's, helping people and what have you. They finally let him be dark in this episode. They reveal some of his evilness. But
did they let him do that in the first season that Disney had, or was
No.
this like this is just this is the first time
this is the first time he goes overboard, right? Because there's times in every Doctor you can see when they snap. There's times where in David Tennant's first run as the Doctor, where they call him the Time Lord Victorious is the name of the episode's arc that he's in there, where you see him going off the wall, just fucking blowing shit up and wiping people out and all of that stuff.
There was an episode of Eccleston's run where when they find, like, they're in the future and they find that there was that bunker that had one of the oh god, why am I spacing on the bad guy?
Dalek.
Yeah, they had the
where he
Dalek
torches
down
the
there,
Dalek.
and he's like, "Oh my god, you have a Dalek! You have to kill it!" Like,
Yeah.
he was pissed.
He was
that they had it.
electrocuting. He was doing all this stuff to it,
Yeah,
right?
and it was like he was dark in that one.
Right. So this is now the first glimpse of this version of the Doctor, showing that his dark side of all of this stuff here, and I hope they explore it more, because if they do, then it's really interesting. I'm tired of the Doctor's great in all his different sides of his personality, but when you're preventing this, and what also doesn't make sense about this, they did that bi-generation thing, which is terrible. So the older Doctor still exists. This Doctor exists at the same time. They're not supposed to, but yet this is happening. This Doctor, according to all the fans that I had to fight with online, was the Doctor that was all about his mental health and his emotional journey and about his rehabbing, if you will, from all the trauma that he had over his lifetime, especially after the Time War and his planet blowing up and all this stuff there. This was the one where he's trying to recover and be a better person, whatever. So if they split all the woe and the heaviness and all that stuff and went with the older Doctor, this guy is supposed to be a clean slate going around being the happy-go-lucky gay Doctor. Why does he have this then?
Right.
Guess that bi-generation thing didn't really work out the way they thought it was gonna, right?
Right.
So now all of a sudden he's being a dick and everyone around him is like, you can't do that. I'm like, I'm sitting there going, yes, finally, kill everybody. Do something.
Why don't you all go die?
Yeah, here we go.
Is that part of the show?
They blew out the airlock. Look at this. 100,000 people sucked into space. And I'm like, yes, let's see where this goes. Even him.
You represent the Doctor, the last of the Time Lords.
Good name for a band. And now you're threatening 3 trillion people? I will survive, and I will find you. And you can run and hide and whimper all you like, but I will find you, because you have put ice in my heart, darling.
That thing too. You took me out of it by throwing the fucking darling into it. Right?
Yeah.
He's on a roll. He's starting to get really, really evil. And you fluff him up a bit with this nonsense.
You put it there, so I will cast your body out into the void, and I will stand and watch you freeze to death.
See, the thing about holograms is they're kind of soft, and they fizz, and they crackle, and
See,
they're kind of no
where was this Doctor all this time?
use unless
He should have been here the entire time.
He finally cried all his feelings out. Now he's putting his power glove for his competition.
His crying, his talking with people, his sharing of all that nonsense. And it's like, nope, now let's get to the good stuff here, where there's going to be full-on resentment and vengefulness.
What I didn't know was about to happen was the fact that the Doctor was about to unveil Super Mario Brothers 3 and was really going to go off with that glove.
The power glove.
and they crackle. And
He's
they're
gonna-
kind of no use unless you're me, and you convert them into hard light. In which case, a hologram can hurt.
Look at this. He's tasing the guy.
See, there you go.
His hologram is just...
How many people did you want to kill? 3 trillion? How about we try this 3 trillion times?
Look at this. Isn't this fantastic?
I mean, it's pretty good. I do know from experience the Power Glove never worked that well, so good for them for making it cool.
And of course,
and then they come in, they're like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be a real badass."
Yeah,
Sorry,
the companion shows up and she's like, "Doctor, no," and then he stops.
Back.
Well, you could probably do that with the Power Glove if you just maybe fringe some of the wires.
Just put a little taser in there.
Yeah, you still plug in, so you have the electricity, but. All right, so that was going fantastic until the companion shows up, and now he's like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And now we've got to figure out a more clever way. I was hoping he was going to just fry the guy. Now, third part of this episode, back to the Eurovision Song Contest. The Doctor was sent off into space. All these people are frozen in space. They're in this little kind of containment thing, right? The companion is not from this time, has no idea what's going on. She's having a fucking breakdown because she realizes she's screwed. She'll never get home. She doesn't know what to do here. They start playing the most ridiculous song behind her.
I was wondering if we were going to get any songs out of
yeah,
this.
Look at this.
But we can't just... How do we... Oh my God, I've got no way out.
So she's freaking out. She's starting to realize... I cut it up because it lapses over time. This fucking puppet show is going on stage while this is happening, and she's having a breakdown. She's like, I'm going to die. I have nowhere to go. What am I supposed to do? A couple days after the episode, fucking the showrunner goes, by popular request, here's the full version of the song. We're going to put it out for there, and people are all these wannabe people that think just because they latch onto something that gets put out that they're part of the in crowd, that they belong. These theater rejects, they're like, this song is giving me life, and this song is everything. This song, it's like, this needs to be on Spotify, and we need to get it up to #1. It's like, no, you don't. It's a shit song. And I thought, I'm like, they have to be fucking with us by putting this song on. I'm going to play the thing in a second. Somebody writes to me and says, do you know anything about Eurovision? I said, very little, just the clips and I know of the concept. And he goes, a lot of the songs that chart from this competition or do well are the most shit songs you've ever heard of. Uh-huh. And he goes, I think what they're actually doing is they made an even shittier song that would probably win a Eurovision contest, and they put this out there. So if that's the case, then okay, I get it. But still, the song sucks, and people are going crazy online. This is like they're thinking that, the fucking lava chicken or the peaches.
I was just going to tell you, I want you to take all this little fucking cartoony shit out, and I want you to have Steve's lava chicken playing, and then she's having this existential breakdown as he's talking about lava chicken.
All right, I'll work on that.
I need the two mashed.
Okay. But
that's our contribution to the internet.
Here's the song. This song's like 2 minutes long.
Wow.
They made a video. They put out a full-length song. This looks like something that even Sesame Street wouldn't tolerate. This is terrible. All right, I'm not playing anymore.
And it ends with "Don't trust the government." Like, it was just such a weird twist to such a dumb song.
Kanye comes out, doing the fucking duck walk and
goes everywhere.
The Nazi salute. Intersect in the chat saying, I like a couple of songs from Eurovision, but there's one song called Honey Boy. It's a great music video that sounds like shit live on Eurovision. I don't know. I don't know if I can even take your word on that. It's giving gay.
It's gonna be stuck in my head now, though.
Yeah, it's like a nursery rhyme. Miss B's. Hi, Miss B. This was so offensive to my eyes. Yes, and ears, and just your soul and well-being as a human being. So, yeah, that was last week's Doctor Who episode. We're now hitting into like a multi-part finale that's coming up.
How many episodes of these Disney seasons get it? Like, 6, 8. Like they don't think
No,
they get
I think like 10 to 12, somewhere in there.
It's not too bad actually.
Yeah. Let me show you else why the world is crazy. Okay.
Yep.
Trump's president, he's in a trade war with China. Gingers are black now. India and Pakistan are trying to go to war. What? What did you just say? India and Pakistan are trying to go to war. No, I don't care about that. I've been getting less scam calls because of it. I know gingers are black now? Why? Okay, that was a bit problematic. But basically this one black girl told the whole black community, hey, all gingers are black now. And they're all like, okay. And then the gingers was like, okay. And now it's like a whole movement. What the heck is going on? So do I call them gingers now? Is Hardy Yard crazy? Can I still call them ginger? What's the protocol? You know what? That's actually a good question. Maybe we can't even say ginger. Maybe that's a term of endearment that they only used with each other and we can only use redhead. But let's stop. We're in dangerous territory here. One more. How are they going to belong in that community when they can't even cook soul food? You know what I mean? Well, technically, because gingers are considered black, i.e. a race now, that's racism. But it's about having a shared experience of being ostracized by society. So basically what you're telling me is that orange is the new black, that they're invited to the cookout and that the Little Mermaid was actually black all along, but she can swim. How does that work?
There's a lot going on in that video.
There's so much to unpack.
But there's a lot of rational thinking in that too.
Right. Like he goes in circles, but like he justifies every point he's trying to make. No, I get it. I never saw the original video, but this has been blowing up all over TikTok and all over the internet.
I saw the original video. I should have pulled it. Damn it, I forgot to pull it.
Yeah, see, I didn't. But
I saw the lady saying that the that gingers are now black people.
Yeah, like the ginger community is out there really embracing this. Like even Mike Shinoda, who's in Lincoln Park, there is I think the bass player, the guitar player is a redhead. He doesn't have social media, so he looks like he came out and goes, you know, he just wants to know what to bring to the cookout. Like everyone's embracing this. That is, I like that guy's video. That was perfect.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I'll show you a couple other things.
Ooh.
Do you want to see the latest OnlyFans trend?
Oh, this scares me, but yes.
Okay.
Hey guys, my name's Allison, and today I'm going to teach you how to use one of these.
What the hell is that?
It looks like a pH strip that you would use for a pool or a hot tub.
Got it.
Okay, so she's looking at it and then realizes she doesn't know what she's doing with it.
Actually, I don't know how to use one of these. My name is not Allison, but for $7.99 you can see my pussy.
Hi, my name is Daphne, and I'm going to show you how to hit the perfect slap shot. Actually, my name is Riley. I don't even know what this thing is, but for 50% off, you can watch me put it in my pussy.
Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the newest thing that's showing up on TikTok and on Instagram. So they get cut right as they're saying pussy. So they start.
Thank you for explaining the joke.
It's obvious, but there was two other ones that I was scrolling through trying to get it because I wanted to make a whole montage of these, but couldn't find the other two. Really I grabbed these two, so we had them. But yeah, this has been going on for about a week or two now. That these girls that have only fans accounts are putting these videos out there, and it always ends where I'll shove something up my pussy, or you can see my pussy for $5 this month, whatever the deal is that they're doing. It's creative as hell. It's also extremely off-putting, but I got to give it to them for creativity. It's fantastic.
I think what I need to do is I'm going to start doing these videos as well, where it's like, you know, like, yeah, you start off one thing and it's like, actually, no, but for 50% off, I'm going to shove this. And then I have a cat and then like, I've got like something I want to shove right into the cat and then cut it off. That's going to be my version of this.
Maybe
that's funny.
I'll walk around really talking about this show. And then, so actually my, you know, for whatever show, no, my name's really Eric. And if you subscribe now, I'll show you Zia's, and then it cuts right off.
Zia's like, come on, man.
I think I might do that because
please
either
do.
She's going to laugh or she's going to get really mad. Either way, I don't care. But I think it's going to be funny because I'll just show a photo of her. It's not even going to be anything risque. It'll just be a regular photo. Anything she puts out on her social media is fair game.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I know. She's always posting that. Yeah, do that.
I think I'll do that. Woodpit in the chat saying, I saw one that said squirt a few months back. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. All right.
That guy's funny though.
It is.
I gotta find him. I don't think I've ever seen his videos, but that's funny.
Is there anything you want to discuss? Because I need to take a quick break. So if you have something you want to talk about, because I got other videos I need to show you.
There is nothing in particular, but what I can do is I think we have some disaster videos, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go and talk about the people who have passed away. I will save one of them for when Eric gets back. But this week we actually lost the owner of the cult, Jim Irsay. That was surprising to me. I didn't know if anything was going on with him. Why, this just happened. It was actually a very surprising story to see. I'm going to get the details up here, but he died at 65 years old, and I didn't realize he was actually as young as he was. Like it was weird, but I guess he passed away in his sleep. I don't know if there was any cause of death or health issues in there, but yeah, it was really weird because like about, I would say 12 hours before he passed, he actually wished the Indiana Pacers good luck on the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, well, come on now. It's the only thing I can think of that.
Casey in the chat saying, way to bring it down, Jordan.
Well, yeah, Jim Irsay dead at 65. And then I was going to talk about George Wendt.
Go ahead.
When you came back. So
George Wendt, lovable old Norm from the classic sitcom Cheers. Also known as one of the sports guys, the Chicago sports guys on Saturday Night Live doing the Bear Stupples. He also had a string of Meisterbrow commercials back in the 80s when they did fun celebrity beer commercials. Like we always wax poetic about the old Miller Lite commercials, the Bud Light commercials, those things. Meisterbrow. Is Meisterbrow even still around?
I'm sure it is. I mean, it's not like just readily available next to like Bud Lights or anything, but I guarantee you can probably find it at one of these like Total Wines or whatever. Okay, well, Godspeed to George Wendt there. You want to talk about some foods that are still around? Sure.
Well, we did a segment a while back about inappropriate food ads, and
those were my favorite.
It wound up getting, it got flagged on Facebook, and it got flagged on, what else did it? Instagram. Instagram stories. And it got flagged like days after. You know how those stories only run for like 24 hours?
Yeah, they have a small shelf life.
It got flagged like days after it already ran. It's like, we had to take this down for inappropriate language. It's like, I blocked, I guess not enough, but the name of the British food was called faggots. And they're like these meatball things. And I thought I labeled over the other label so you could kind of make it out, but not.
Right.
That happened. And Facebook said that it was inappropriate and whatever. I'm like, it's actual food that still exists.
I know.
Actual commercials that ran. It's not what you think it is. And you try to file with them and said, I request a manual review to look and see what the context is. And they kept saying, this goes against art. It's like, whatever, you're all automated idiots. Well, I stumbled upon one ad, and then, of course, that takes you down a wormhole of finding other ads like this.
And a list on the FBI.
Correct. Well, I'll feel free to share all the links with them if they're requesting them, but I think they can find it on their own. They're pretty savvy on that. So we're going to look at a couple products. One is Jell-O, and the other is Kool-Aid. And I did notice back in the day, they all must have either been from the same agency because they all have the same theme. So I cut them all together so you can see these themes. Take a look.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime.
Ooh, what's going on?
Ooh,
there we go.
That was weird, right?
That was weird. Here's Kool-Aid, but for $5, you could see.
You could see Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe that's what it is. For $5, you could see him. Oh, yeah. And he bursts through her pants or something.
Yep.
All right, let's try this again.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime. Just for fun of it, Jell-O tonight. Back to present small Chinese type baby waiting for dessert. Chinese mother bling baby, Jell-O.
Hold on. Are you hearing the language being used?
Oh, my God. Yes.
Okay. If you didn't, I'm going to wind it back in just a couple of seconds. Listen to the narrator. you'd think, for those of you on the radio, you're not seeing this. Again, you can find the final show available on YouTube later. But for those on the radio, listen to the narrator, because what he's saying sometimes is worse than the visuals what we're seeing in these commercials here.
Dessert. Chinese mother bling baby jello.
Bling baby.
Oh, famous Western delicacy. Poor Chinese baby. He unable to tell if this jello is strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, lime, apple, black raspberry, black cherry, or grape.
That is Look, as racist as that is, that's amazing alliteration that he was able to get that out.
He was, Blackberry.
Wow.
So racist.
Let's go back to it again. Now, the kid is trying to eat Jell-O with chopsticks and getting infuriated
Silly
because he
Chinese
can't.
baby.
Silly Chinese baby. But the narration where he's like, Betty, all the R's are L's, all the L's are R's. Brackbelly.
Blackberry.
Apple, black glass.
Oh, wait, we got to go back a little bit more because I want to hear that whole thing again.
Yeah.
He unable to tell if this jello is strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, lime, apple, black raspberry, black cherry, or grape.
Strawberry.
He said Chelly.
Chelly, strawberry. Like, that's not even like remotely accurate. And they still decided, we'll just superimpose each letter with the thing. Oh my God.
All right, continuing.
Jello come in all 10 flavors. Poor Chinese baby. But Chinese mother bling baby, great Western invention. Spoon. Spoon was invented for eating jello. Baby find this is grape jello. Deep.
Grape. G-L-A-P-E. Grape Jello.
Dark, delicious new flavor. Chinese baby very happy. So end ancient Chinese pantomime. Is pretty good commercial, no?
Now, if they were really into the gag, it would be spelled Jerro.
Hold on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Jerro.
All right, I'm writing that down as a possible show title. I don't know.
It's giving Jerro vibes.
It's giving Jerro. Well, maybe I'll do that.
Oh, so bad. And the best part is that someone animated this. Someone said, yeah, let's draw this out.
Yeah.
Let's put the effort in.
It's like, who's that guy? Who's the guy in the
baby?
Who's the guy in the back office that can do the Chinese voice?
Oh, you mean racist Bill?
Yeah, get Bill in here. Or we call him Bearer.
Real?
Racist Bear.
Bear.
All right.
Hey, Bear, get in here.
So, all right. So you're seeing the theme here, right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Delicious favorite.
Back to present.
It was so good, they made a second one.
Oh,
Ancient
no.
Chinese pantomime entitled What's Floor Dessert?
Floor dessert.
Chinese baby, like all babies all round the world. He laugh, he cry, he get hungry. And all the time Chinese baby want to know what
He has
floor
job in
dessert.
factory.
Chinese mother no answer to that. She bring him jello. Jello bright like rainbow. Make baby smile. Jello wiggle. Got no bones. Make baby laugh. Jello good. Jello light. Just right for baby insides. Chinese mother, like all mothers all round world.
Lound. All lound world.
She know every time baby ask, what's floor dessert? Right answer is jello. You get message?
Okay. So those were some
no.
Jello ones. We'll come back to Jello in a
I'm
little
already
bit.
excited for this.
Now we're going to, apparently they had these kids that were the Kool-Aid kids. And they were going around the world looking for Kool-Aid. They were going around the world taking in local cultures, but they were never happy because they didn't have Kool-Aid to drink in all these places.
What's upsetting is most of these commercials came out in 1996. So
I know.
I just don't understand what the hell is going on in the world.
You know, 9/11 changed everything. Kool-Aid kids are in Japan.
The Kool-Aid kids in old Japan rode rickshaws everywhere. But But when the kids sat down to eat, they sure did miss their favorite treat. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, tastes great. Wish we had some, can't wait.
Now, these are like Irish kids, white American kids, right? They got little baseball caps on. They're twins,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah. Little collared shirt.
A story man who heard the kids then clapped his hands and said,
Hi, Kool-Aid keeps me very wise. Stand by, please, for big surprise. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid,
All right, the Kool-Aid man face on the jar on the pictures are also have the Asian eyes.
Yeah, these are the types of things that I would get on my Cherry Clan candies.
Yeah.
Me very wise. Stand by, please, for big surprise. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, so great. Once you tried it, no can wait. Honorable Kool-Aid, most refreshing, much loved by whole family. Father, mother, Japanese boy, Japanese girl. A package make 2 full quarts. Cost only 20 yen, just 5 cents. With lots of ice, so nice.
The Kool-Aid kids are off again to visit other lands. Be sure to join them when they do.
Join them in some Kool-Aid too. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, so great. Once you tried it, no can wait.
They said glate.
The cartoon version of the businessman reminds me of Mr. Yonioshi of Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh,
And it's,
Mickey Rourke
going, Mr. Go Right, Miss Go
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like that is the vibe I'm getting.
It's like they took this was the precursor to Cogswell from Cogswell Cogs in the Jetsons.
Yes.
It's like let's Asian him up a little bit, and we'll just use him for the commercial. But yeah, listen.
Like, who are they? Are they trying to appeal to the Asian market to get more?
No, this is just these are running in
They're just
America.
being assholes.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but you run this in like say, San Francisco. Are you trying to appeal to the whites, or are you trying to appeal to the Chinese and Asian community?
I don't know. We're maybe 15 years removed from the end of World War II when this comes out, so
yeah,
still could be harboring some resentment. I don't know.
Once you tried it, no can wait.
They really missed an opportunity to draw the Japanese version of the Kool-Aid Man on that jar. By the way,
Yeah. Woodpit Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. It's delicious.
He's saying the animation looks familiar. Maybe Hanna-Barbera. Well, Hanna-Barbera didn't exist back then. Or maybe I don't know. Wait, the Flintstones were in black. Yeah,
60s.
They could have been. This could have been it. You might be right. Big Red Tower. Who doesn't have 8 pitchers of Kool-Aid available in their fridge?
I mean, it's pretty.
Mine's Crystal
Hanna-Barbera
Light, but I
started in
get what he's
1957.
saying. All right. This is another commercial, and of course, you have to spin the gauntlet of what ethnicities you can make fun of. So we've got to go to Native Americans.
Me, he big hunter. Me, shoot a moose. Me, catch him dinner.
I love that. Like the Indian language is always catch 'em. You're just always adding it's like Pig Latin. You're just adding like M's at the end of
Yep.
everything. Me heap 'em good time.
Squaw love me so. She give right answer to what I want to know. Hey, what's 40 cert? What's 40 cert? What's 40 cert?
Jello.
Princess Leia.
Right, just right. Nothing quite like
The bunny he just killed in the hunt is now doing the woo 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 woo
I saw
Indian
that too.
dance. Yeah.
Jello.
Ooh.
Light, bright, just right. Nothing quite like it. Jello.
You bet 'em. Jello for dessert.
You bet 'em.
Beautiful Jello. Jello keep papoose off warpath. Make squaw light on her moccasins. And Jello takes so little wampum.
It keeps
Christ.
chicks from being fat is what he's saying.
That's crazy talk. I'm sorry. No, that's my brother at the door. That's
Make
crazy
cheap
talk.
rain in the face all smiles. Every time you hear it,
What's 40 cert?
the right answer is...
Jello.
All right.
Jared's got a good point.
What?
The people that made this are probably in Congress still.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. So Jello did the Indian thing, so of course Kool-Aid's got to follow suit.
Here's a tale about the world.
All right, hold on. For the radio people, it's the Kool-Aid pitcher with the face on it. He's got like bird feathers strapped to him like an Indian warrior
to his
would.
handle, yeah.
And he's going woo 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 woo, but he doesn't have the hand to do all of that. He's just making the mouth movements for it.
Greatest Indian fighter. Young Colonel Joe led a cavalry charge against an Indian band that proved too large. Joe's troops ran off in full retreat, but our Joe saved them from defeat. You know how? He made Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, can't wait.
Hold on. The Indian was about to scalp the cavalry guy.
Right.
He paused him in midair, like holding his hand up in the stop. Look at that. He's about to do a devastating blow of a tomahawk to this guy's head. And because of Kool-Aid, now he's going to do an Indian dance.
You know how? He made Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, can't wait. Only Kool-Aid tastes so great. Kool-Aid, the little envelope that holds the great big drink.
Makes you a pitcher full, quick as a wink.
Pick your flavor from 9 different sorts. 5-cent Kool-Aid makes 2 quarts. Well, sir, soon Colonel Joe's only Indian war was to see who'd be first in line for more. You know what?
Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, tastes great.
You love Kool-Aid, don't wait. America's favorite drink in an envelope. Kool-Aid.
These are wild.
Amazing.
And these were like this is the 50s. Like these are our grandparents watched these growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
grandparents are our parents.
So yeah, some of
our
us
parents watched these. Our grandparents were buying this stuff for them, but our parents were sitting around the what was that one television that they found was giving off radiation? You remember that?
I do.
When
yeah.
TV was actually furniture, it wasn't just an appliance.
Yeah, it was like a cabinet.
What did the Simpsons used to call it? The Radiation King?
Right.
Where you'd get up from watching something and then there would just be like radiation burns in the wall, except for where you were sitting.
Right. Just like shadows on the wall.
Right. I love finding these things now and then.
It's a very interesting look into our advertising history.
Mm-hmm. Woodpit saying they are all kind of lighthearted mockery that would not fly by any way.
No.
Although, if you did start bringing that kind of advertising back, I think you'd see social outrage like you've never seen, but sales skyrocketing. People are like, fuck, we got to go get Kool-Aid.
So Woodpit was saying that voice sounds very familiar too.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of like a Thurl Ravensgood or the guy who did Tony the Tiger.
Oh yeah,
the same, but it's getting very like the old school Tony the Tiger like sound.
You just said it's giving.
It's so crazy.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you? I'm going to show you one more. This isn't inappropriate by the food or the ad. It's just inappropriate by the guy who's in there. And then see if you can notice the other young celebrity who's getting her start appearing in this ad.
Introducing new Jell-O. Great for the plate with a fruity taste.
Kids go ape for new Jell-O great.
You got the wiggles and the jiggles all over the place.
Kids go ape for new Jell-O great.
Gobble it up with a purple slurp.
Kids go ape for new Jell-O great.
But don't follow it up with a purple burp.
Kids go ape for new Jell-O great.
It's the Jell-O great.
Is that Lindsay Lohan?
It is.
Kids go ape for new Jell-O great.
So you can have your fun and eat it too.
Jell-O purple grape.
I don't know why that has stuck in my head since I was a kid.
The purple grape.
That kids go ape for new Jell-O grape. And then he goes, you got the wiggles and the jiggles all over the... Like, I don't know why that was just an earworm for me, but it always
Mr.
was.
Huxtable is rapping.
I know.
Back when we liked him.
I know. He was the spokesperson for Jell-O, for Kodak, for Coca-Cola, for a bunch of different things.
I used to love watching all his shows like that. What was that one show where he had the pens and he would draw pictures and it would
Picture
make noises?
pages.
I
with
love
Mortimer
picture pages.
Ichabod Marker.
I used to have the ones, and it was like boop 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 boop, and you have to like trace the line.
I never got mine. I begged my mom. She sent a check to somewhere in Philadelphia to get that thing. We never got it.
Yeah,
I wish I did.
That was one of the things growing up that I actually did get my hands on, and it was wonderful. It never worked right. Like they worked for a little bit, but that was it.
Aren't you lucky?
Well, yes. Yes, I was. I always loved his pudding pop ones too. He used to do a lot of pudding pop stuff.
Yeah,
the Jello pudding pop.
I will say this though, it reminded me of another old Jello commercial that I went and clipped, and we can use for more racier discussions.
Mm.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle those jigglers. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle those jigglers.
So
I remember the Jello jigglers.
We can play that every time some busty woman is shaking what mama gave her.
And for 50% off, you can watch the Jello jigglers.
Yep, right there.
She got a great ass.
I love that movie.
Fantastic. We've got so much other shit to go. Do we do? I mean, we're an hour and 40 in. Do we do disasters? I might as well.
I do want to, like, if we don't go into the breadth of all the disaster stuff, like we can wait on the tower collapse. We can do all those things can be done.
No.
I want to look at the Mexican ship.
Yeah, we'll do that in the tower. So might as well.
Okay.
Get into this week.
Let's look at those ones.
This week in disasters. Yes. So a lot of stuff happened this week, and I'm looking for the Brooklyn thing, and I can't find. Oh, there it is. That's why, because it was labeled something different. We're gonna start off probably with the most famous one this week, and up until this point, it was the devastating tornadoes that were hitting the St. Louis area, in Kentucky. Right, they had just disastrous scenes from these tornadoes that were getting caught. People in cars had their cameras on or their phones on, taping it as the tornado was going over them. There was one lady that was on her porch, didn't know the tornado was hitting until all of a sudden a tree fell right in front of her, and she's like, "Oh, there's a tornado," and he goes running inside. Those were real disasters. This was kind of a moderate disaster, which was both hilarious and off-putting at the same time. We're talking about the naval training vessel for Mexico was up in the New York City area, I guess, for a presentation, for a display of some sort. Not sure why it was there. Do you know?
I don't, but I keep seeing footage of this boat. This looks like a boat that we would be playing Sea of Thieves with.
Right.
Like it's got like full on masts and stuff like that. It's like, what kind of Navy has this as a training vessel? Like,
well,
it just throws me off watching some of this footage. I don't know what they were doing or why they were doing or who authorized them to go that route, but it's wild just the way it all plays out.
Yeah, so this boat was there, I guess, for some kind of display purpose. You know how, like, when you would see military vehicles or ships, Fleet Week in New York City is always pretty well documented, and they're usually in town for Veterans Day, 4th of July, something like that. This looks like it could have been one of those situations, but there's nothing going on right now in New York City area that either represents the Navy, Mexico, some sort of celebrate. Like, there's nothing that I can think of that this would be associated to. So this boat was across the Hudson over in New Jersey, was coming over into the New York City area. I put together a montage of all the footage I could find. So this was the footage of the boat setting up. Now, I want to point something out. There was a lot of stuff online where people were saying, how are the people who are recording this and why are they all laughing? Like, how could they laugh at something like this? It's ridiculous. You can laugh at it. It's so ridiculous, right? But here's the thing. When this was all happening, nobody knew that there were people standing on the masts in some kind of dance formation, like a choreographed event. Nobody knew that these people were up there as it smashed. Later on, they found out. Right. So I put this together showing you that there were people up there before all the fun smash footage. Here we go. Some of this has audio, some of it doesn't. But right here, the caption on here says, I gotta go back a tiny bit here. Mexican Navy tall ship, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, gives New Yorkers a preview of sail for the event celebration America's 250th birthday. Why is it? This doesn't make any sense. This is here. Our 250th birthday is not till July 4th. So why? I don't know.
Of next year.
I know. This doesn't make any sense. We're in May.
Yeah, it's May of 2025. It's an entire year before we celebrate the 250th birthday, let alone why is the Mexican tall ship part of it?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Celebrating the countries we took most land from.
The one that we have the highest tariffs on at the moment.
Right.
So anyway, you can see, look, these Mexican, I guess, Navymen, if you will, climbing up.
Say it, seaman, Eric. Say it.
Spicy. They all full of tagine. They're all going up there. Look at this footage right here. That mast has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers going upward. And the crewmen are holding hands spread out like hands across America on the mast, on each tier of the mast. Now, we didn't know this when it hit, but this is video before it launched. So keep going here. Look at that. Oh, 5. There's 5 of them.
Mm-hmm. Keeps going.
Yeah. So, okay, the boat's getting ready. Look, there's mariachi dancers and musicians and Navy men, Navy women, service people. We're getting to the crashes, folks. See, they're all prepping. They're getting ready. Raising banners, hoisting sails. I mean, it's a beautiful old ship.
Sure.
Right? There they are. Now, all I keep thinking is playing in the Navy while this goes by, you know? But look at that. It's setting sail. All of them. There's 2 masts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers on each mast. And it's all filled with service people holding hands spread out across the mast. This is dangerous for any reason to be doing this. Now, here we go. It's setting adrift among memory bliss right into a lower tier of the Brooklyn Bridge. Look at this.
Oh, like I keep seeing slow motion video. Like I've never seen it. Oh my god!
All right, that footage that we just watched was under the bridge, the leg of the bridge there. Look, there's people dangling.
You're standing on the side of the thing. You're watching this happen. Until you know someone's up there, it's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Like, I would kill to watch a boat smash into a bridge like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the footage, I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, what is going on here? And then you find out a little bit more that there were people on there. Jared saying that the ship was built in 1981. It's not that old. Well, it's an old-looking design. You know, that's like centuries old design for that kind of ship. Go back a little bit as it slowly. Look at this. Now, there's traffic on the bridge itself. They're seeing this hit the bridge while their cars are driving over it.
I mean, it's good to see that a ship named after an Aztec ruler is getting its ass beat by good old American ingenuity.
Yes. Well, actually, the Dutch built that bridge.
Damn it.
1 mast, 2. Oh, there's 3 masts.
There's 3.
And there goes the 3rd one. This is like when we finish Sea of
four
Thieves.
people.
Yeah, this is like when we finish Sea of Thieves and we torch the galleon before we
Torch
leave.
the galleon instead of the drift into an island.
Yeah, we give it the old Viking funeral.
Every time.
It's giving Titanic. Did I say that right?
Cuauhtémoc. We hardly knew you. I love that you didn't want to like say the name.
I wasn't going to do it justice. I couldn't pronounce it. It looks, to be honest, if you didn't know the people were on there, it just looks like when you see those booze cruises hit a dock or a houseboat or something, that's how funny it is.
Or when you see a truck, like a big rig truck with the load on and doesn't go through the tunnel because it was too tall.
Yeah.
And you just smashes into it. You're like, this is hilarious. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah, keep going.
Imagine you rent the boat tonight and then it just fucking collapses the second it takes off the dock. Crash into the Brooklyn Bridge.
Look at this.
It's totally crashing. Look, the sails are
Like, the little tugboat next to me should be like, look, bro, like, you can't do this. Like, why are you going?
See, look at the traffic. They're all just watching this boat hit the oncoming the outgoing traffic in real time. Yeah, hold on, real quick. Jared's right. It's like you're in traffic on the bridge, and you just see some dudes floating right at you very slowly.
It'd be like one of those things where the guy's on the thing. He's like, right before it hits, he jumps off and he just lands on the bridge, and he's just like, what else do I do?
Casey's saying, did no one on the ship notice that they were heading for a bridge and choose to, I don't know, get off as the ship? They were all strapped in. They were harnessed in. They couldn't get out. They had to be unfastened in order to make that jump. All right, this is a different angle, watching it from the other side coming through the bridge. This angle looks like when that cruise ship is not paying attention and hits the dock.
Yeah.
What?
And here's what's funny, too. Mexican ship hits an American bridge in an American harbor, and all these Muslim people are running away from it. It's like, what is happening here?
They're like, look, the last time something foreign hit something in New York, we were all blamed for a lot of shit. We got to get out of here.
At least this one's flying a flag telling you where they're from.
Yeah.
This is insane.
You got guys on the boat going, we're so sorry.
Yeah. They're like, ay Dios mío.
Lo siento.
They're dumping all the cerveza into the harbor.
I'm glad we had the same idea. They were like, we got to get rid of the evidence.
This is their Boston Tea Party.
This is insane.
It's just slowly damaged going under the bridge. I was fascinated by all this
Like,
footage that was
I
coming
can see
in.
the guy hanging right there, like he's just like stuck. Oh my god!
Where? Oh yeah, there he is, right there in
just
the
hanging right at
top
the top.
middle.
Jesus!
It looks like when you kick over an ant farm. People have blankets in the park right there. They're just watching this happen.
That tugboat's like, oh, I'm fucked up.
What happened to the Disney movie we're supposed to watch in the park? Look at that guy. Zoomed in. Upside down.
There's that guy.
That guy's hanging onto a sail that's barely attached. How many fell into the water?
Oh my gosh. Samantha, I would say let's try to get away from the bridge because imagine.
Yeah. Insane what you get to witness.
Oh, it's just so crazy.
All right. We have more to show you. If that wasn't enough for you to enjoy, we're going over to China.
China.
And this is the
For more things Eric won't pronounce.
Feng Yang Drum Tower. This tower was built in 1375 and used to announce the beginning of ceremonies and the time of day. It is one of the largest such towers in all of China. The collapse happened just a year after the tower was being renovated following minor roof damage. Well, obviously it wasn't done very well because let's take a look at this. And I have multiple angles of this too. Oh, it's not doing it again. Why is it doing
Wait,
that?
was that the lady hitting the house on the golf cart again?
Oh, it could have been that, or it could have been when that clip of Yoko Ono singing with Chuck Berry and John Lennon.
Oh my God. They had to mute, they cut her mic off. Chuck
Yeah.
Berry's face is like, what the fuck is going on?
All right, here we go. Let's try it again. Look at this. Imagine this is just filming for the new Shang-Chi movie.
Right. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, that thing's built in 1300, and then the newest renovations is what fucks up.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to put this, polyurethane thing under here that'll really help protect from leaks. And then it just eats away at old ancient wood. Deteriorates the entire thing and it collapses.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Yeah, so you won't
You know,
be...
you know how many times people kept sending me the original commercial of Calgon?
I know. I got it
was
too.
kind of funny. I'm
But what they didn't know is I already added it. Look, the video clip that we did of... was it the mall video?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were looking at the Yankee Cranky place in the mall... I tagged that into the end of the video. So if you want to go see it, it's already in there. And then everybody started sending it to me. I was like, everyone's on the same page with all of this. We all know what's going to happen here.
We're all out of Calgon.
All right. So that's 1 and that's 3. Okay. So let's go over, this goes back several weeks because we haven't done disasters in a while. The World Rally Championship that was happening in the Canary Islands.
Okay.
Guess one of those big not motocross. What is
car races?
what's the one that's in Monaco?
The F1?
The Formula One?
Like open wheeled?
Yeah,
like
those kind of things.
car?
I'm guessing it's along those lines. But anyway, this is amazing crash footage. Let's take a look.
Oh, these are rally cars. Oh my God.
Yeah, look at that. So it's set up, the reason why I was saying Monaco, because when you have those Formula One races...
Yeah, they do them through the streets,
through the towns. Yeah, you could be sitting there...
In Vegas. Remember when they cut off and then they were going down the strip?
Right. You could sit there and watch from like your balcony or some kind of outdoor restaurant or what have you. This guy lost control. It's also raining, so he skid and took out a building. Now, the car should have vaporized hitting the building, but no, that's not the case.
Wow.
There goes somebody's small business as he just pinballs around that tight turn on the road.
What you need is you need to do a supercut where you see this car hit this building and then you see the tower in China just start collapsing.
Hey,
we found out what caused it.
This was the back end of it. All right. So there you have it for the Canary Islands. Now, this was a few weeks ago. We haven't had a chance to get to it too. That speedboat that flipped over. Yep. This was Lake Havasu, Desert Storm. What is it? The 2025 Lake Havasu Desert Storm Shugru's Shootout. Where is Lake Havasu?
Northern Arizona.
Of course, it's Arizona.
I think it's close to like heading up to like the Grand Canyon area, all in that area. Like it's closer toward like Nevada.
Going back to that crash video, Jared saying, dude is just trying to take a dump and his house collapses. Yeah, it's like when Cleveland's house in Family Guy.
He's watching it on like one of those little tiny portable TVs trying to take a dump, and he's watching this happen, and it just smashes right into his house. Jeez.
All right. So this is the footage that was all over the place, but we have extra footage too because we also have the camera from inside the cabin as this was happening.
That thing just like goes away, just flies away.
It flew up like a kite that got a good wind gust, and you can't control it. Like, you know when you see the kids fly the kites at the beach, and they get a good wind gust coming right off the ocean, and the thing jolts up, and you see the kid being dragged down the beach because they can't control it. That's what happened. Are these cigarette boats? Is that what these are?
I don't know if, well, I think they're shaped like the cigarette boats. I know the ones you're talking about, like the one in like Florida and stuff like that, but no, I think they're like the speedboats. I forget, there's a term for them. I'll look it up. But.
Okay. Well, let's watch all the footage.
Holy fuck.
These ones are power boats.
All right, hold on a second. Look at right here. Imagine it took off right now where we are in the video. Look at this. Helicopter.
Sure.
Right
Probably
above
filming
it.
porn.
Yeah, but could be. It is Arizona.
Trust me, Lake Havasu is a hotbed of
I'm sure it is.
Pornography filming.
I'm sure it is. But if that boat picked up and flew it right into the helicopter.
Now that would be hilarious.
Oh no! No!
What's crazy about this, it doesn't just flip. It, like, you're right, it catches air and just kind of floats.
Yeah, it had a nice what is it, updraft? I can't think of the term.
Yeah.
I do like how nobody's going, oh shit, what the fuck? They're all like, oh no, oh no. Oh, there's an old shit. Jared is saying the London Bridge is at Lake Havasu.
He is correct. Like a smaller version of the actual London Bridge is very famous in that area.
Yeah.
I've only been up there once. But yeah, Havasu is kind of like on the Arizona, California border, just south of like the tip of Nevada. So it's like right in that area.
Okay. Well, this is the footage from the cabin of all this happening. We have for the radio people, he's starting off in the 30s. We have a speedometer on the screen. He's up to 147 now.
Jesus.
60, 70, 80,
almost 200 miles
90,
an hour.
Over 200 now. And we never saw them again.
One guy's wearing boots. The other one looks like he's wearing like Skechers shape-ups. Like, what are you doing in this boat doing this?
Old man in the sea.
Jesus Christ.
But right at the point of impact where this video cuts off, they were still at 165 miles an hour.
Sure.
You can see the casing, the capsule, whatever you want to call it, break. Because as it's crashing here, look at the water coming in right here on the right-hand side.
That is nuts.
Now, if I remember correctly, nobody died.
No, they survived.
That's
wild.
That's insane.
Jared is saying is the actual bridge got moved there. Yeah, I guess I just looked it up. You're right. I've only been
somebody bought it.
Part of Arizona I go and check out like so. And then they built a new one in London. Of course, we're getting the hand-me-downs. It's fucking Arizona.
You don't deserve nice things over there. I'm sorry.
We don't deserve the new London Bridge. We got to get the hand-me-down London Bridge.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk about television, movies, streaming updates, all of those things that you need to be made aware of because there's just so much stuff going on. And we've got a bone to pick with a video game developer who comes off like a real asshole and maybe shouldn't be spouting his mouth off considering some of the things that might be associated with him. We'll get to all of that next.
More It's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
This is R.L. Stein. You're listening to It's Eric Nagel. Stay scary, everyone.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric Jordan here with you, talking about television, movies, streaming updates, all of the things that you need to know about what's going on in the world. Because if you're stuck watching network television, what the hell is wrong with you? You're ancient as hell, and that needs to just go away to the place that we don't want to talk about. Network TV can just...
Delaware?
Weren't going to talk about it. Hi, I'm in Delaware. As we start this off, we always go around the room talking about things that we have been watching. Jordan, what have you been watching?
I'm trying to catch up on the rest of Andor. I finished episode 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to finish up 10, 11, and 12 before the weekend, before I rewatch Rogue One. The show's fantastic. I mean, this is what Star Wars really should be. They're getting pretty gritty with their storytelling. It's very adult. It's, I always feel like at this point, tell me more stories that don't have Jedis running around with lightsabers. Like, it's cool, it's fun, there's a place for it. But these stories are so much better. It is fantastic. Season 2 vastly improved on how good season 1 is, and I'm very much enjoying that. I've been watching Conan O'Brien Must Go season 2.
I caught up on that the other night.
Okay, so I watched episode 1 where he went to Spain, episode 2 he went to New Zealand, and they just dropped episode 3, which I believe he goes to Austria.
Okay.
So I haven't watched episode 3 yet.
Episode 1 in Spain with Javier Bardem.
Where they were spooning in bed and taking a nap.
When they were pretending to be drunk and hungover while eating the churros and chocolate.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. He's so funny. Like, I never really thought of Javier Bardem as like someone who really funny. Like, he's always playing very serious characters. Dude was hilarious in this. And it was great. And then, episode 2. Did you watch that one yet?
I did. New Zealand?
Yeah, there was in New Zealand.
Dude, the guy who had the fucking boxcar house?
Yeah, that was great. And he's like shits in a bucket.
Yeah.
He's like, I made you a bidet, and it's like stuck to a super soaker and a hose. It was just like,
when he saw the kids, he's like, am I the first human being you've seen? And they're like, no.
He had to, like, hike in. So that's what I've been watching. I'm going to try to, like I said, catch up on Andor and finish up a few things. I've been playing Doom the Dark Age. I was actually streaming some of it a couple nights ago. You ended up watching some of that when I was playing it. The game's wild. Like, it's pretty fun. I guess it expands on Doom Eternal, which was the last game that came out. I never played it, so I'm really lost in like the continuation of the story, but honestly, you don't need it. Just go in and fucking kill demons, man. It was really, really fun. And then, as always, I've been trying to listen to new stuff every now and then. Aesop Rock just came out with a couple new songs. He's going to be putting out a new album soon. I'm checking out the 2 songs, Checkers and Send Help. Sounds really good. I love Aesop Rock. And then there's a new band out. They're kind of doing the Sleep Token bit or the Slipknot bit where they're wearing masks. You don't know who it is. They're called President. They have a new song called In the Name of the Father. It's actually really good. It starts off kind of slow, very melodic, and then it goes really into that heavy, like metal rock kind of sound.
Right.
So far, so good. I don't know what the plan is to get an album out, but right now they only have a single out. And like I said, it's called In the Name of the Father. But, really good stuff. And then, of course, I've been listening to a lot of Tom Jones because like that concert made me kind of a fan. So I've been kind of catching up on things that I've never really got a lot of experience with. So it's been fun.
Jared saying Red City Radio was really good, but have not put out anything in a while.
Interesting.
For me, what have I been doing? I have a ska punk playlist on Spotify that I made, and I think I'm actually going to get a commercial made so we can start running to advertise that.
Nice.
Been listening to that. Hold on a second. Our former agent is now in the chat here. Oh no, I'm keeping him around. You can let him go. But Neil Diamond is greater than Tom Jones. I will give you that. I misread it at first. Apologies, Super Agent Rob Stark. I was listening to the ska punk stuff a lot because I've getting a little burnt out on YouTube stuff. I was like, I think I need a break for a little bit and watch some other things and listen to other things. So I did that. The Doctor Who episode, which we documented in the first part of the show. The Conan episodes, like you mentioned. I also caught up on the final season of Righteous Gemstones. It is
I need to start that.
Batshit crazy. It is hilarious. It's nuts. It's a lot of fun. I love John Goodman. I love Danny McBride. Everybody in that show is amazing. Walter Goggins is in there. He's their uncle. Walton Goggins is in there. He's his uncle. He's their uncle. And I'm starting to notice a trend. Maybe it's just HBO shows doing this, but I'm noticing.
You never talked to me about this.
I'm noticing a trend that I'm not very comfortable with. And they did this in White Lotus, the third season of White Lotus with Jason Isaacs.
Mm-hmm.
They're really into the full frontal male dick showing.
Oh.
There's scenes. There's a lake house episode where they go to the lake house for a little vacation. There are just constant scenes of Walton's character's name is Baby Billy. He's water skiing on the lake with no pants. And they're showing everything. He's just flapping in the breeze. You see him from the back shot. The end of the episode is he's out there water skiing again. You see him come. You know how like your legs are like this, right? And if you had the camera in the water, it goes like that.
Yes.
You see that coming right at you, and it goes right over the lens as it goes to black, and then the credits. I'm not happy with this. The full frontal male viewing in things has got to stop. It has to stop. But that being said, the rest of the season of Righteous Gemstones, the final season, absolutely fantastic. You got to go give it a watch. What else have I been doing? I'm running out of games to play because I'm almost caught up with everything I can possibly do with Phasmo. And Sea of Thieves has a new season. I might go and check that out. The last season I lost interest so much because it was all fucking fishing, and I just didn't care about that. So the new season just dropped today, actually, as we're doing the show. So I'm gonna have to watch that. And I'd go and watch the trailer for that, and then it's all Reaper stuff now. You've got new cannons that you could put on the front of the ship, and all of that seems kind of fun.
So I do have something that came up, and I grabbed it yesterday, and I forgot to write it down because I know this is going to appeal to you. So on Game Pass, they released a thing called Retro Classics. It's a compilation of all kinds of things. But what's great about it is that it's got some Atari games. You got your old Pitfall games and stuff like that. You got Chopper Command. What's going to appeal to you, my friend, and this is great, they have Sierra games on there. I was playing Space Quest 6 on my Xbox the other day.
What?
Yes. So they had Space Quest 6. I think they had Space Quest 2. They're going to keep adding more as time goes on. But they have some old, the old point and clicks, the old computer games. They have DOS games on there.
Leisure Suit Larry?
They haven't added that, but I guarantee you it's
Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist?
They actually do have Freddy Farkas' Frontier Pharmacist.
I loved that game.
Yeah, Freddy Farkas.
I don't think I ever finished that game. Wait, where do I got to go for this?
It's on Game Pass. It's called Retro Classics. When I downloaded it, I thought it was just going to be like old Atari games, and I wanted to show my son what gaming used to look like when I was a kid. And when I saw that they had Space Quest, I think 2, and they had Space Quest 6 on there, I lost my shit.
I'm on Game Pass here. Where?
I don't know if it's console only, but it is on Game Pass. They had Commando, Grand Prix, Mech Warrior 2. They go all kinds of games. But they have DOS games, Sierra games. They don't have a ton yet, but they said they're going to keep adding to it as it goes on. I was playing Pitfall from the old Atari 2600. It's fantastic.
I'm not seeing it here.
Maybe it's console only.
It better not be console only because those were PC games to begin with.
Right. But yeah, it's got retro games.
Going into Game Pass here. PC gaming.
Yeah, Jared in the chat saying 50 games so
Oh wait,
far.
retro classics. It looks like the old Activision type of.
Yeah. Download
artwork.
that, and then inside that, it's like that's the hub, and inside that is where you find all these other things. It's perfect.
I'm looking at.
Try to see if I can find the lineup.
Atlantis. Oh, I used to play that on Atari.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, holy crap!
Atlantis Grand Prix, Fishing Derby. I'm getting excited for really terrible games. Fishing Derby. I used to play
Command.
that.
I love Chopper Command. Yeah, Fishing Derby's on their freeway. They have like Caesar 2, Freddie Farkas's Frontier Pharmacist. There it is.
Oh, this is exciting.
Now, Big Red Tower, I know that there are ways to
Jordan?
do that.
You need to shut your mouth.
Show's over. We're just going to end now. Thank you,
We're gonna go
everybody,
play
for
retro
watching.
games.
I have old games to play from 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, I just remembered. It's so good.
Pitfall 2. I loved Pitfall 2.
I loved Pit.
Where you were in that cave with the balloon flying up and oh man, I thought I was going to spend time with my kid this Memorial Day weekend. That ain't happening now.
No, fuck that. Zork is on there.
I used to play Zork on the
I know.
old Commodore 64.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have all those things. And like I said, like Big Red Tower said something in the chat. I'm not going to put it up there just in case. But yeah, like I know there's ways to do this on the PC and stuff like that. I have a lot of those old games on my my Steam Deck. I jailbroke and did all that stuff. Like, I've got emulator stuff, but like, just it's nice to have that on there for the masses, for people that aren't going to do those things like we would.
Trying to think of the other game. It wasn't
wasn't Missile Command, was it?
No, it wasn't Missile Command. It was. It looks like the same artwork for Atlantis, but it was another game like that. I think it started with a C.
Oh yeah,
I still have all that. If I go into the vault, I can find somewhere. I go through the system. I can find the tub that has all the Atari games and the Intellivision games and the Coleco games.
Interesting.
Is there still time for the host to take questions from the audience? Yes, Rob, but it's going to cost
Always.
you super chat stuff. Oh, which, by the way, wait, got to turn on the super chat thing. There it is. Okay, there we go. Jared the Geek for $4.99 going. No, not going towards Jordan's Lego fund. What are you doing?
There's still sets I need.
I know. Show it. We were talking during the break. People didn't get to see it. Show them what you just wasted your college kids, kids' college fund on.
Well, they will not be attending any of the top tier colleges. They will be doing community college because I just got myself. Let's see right there. There we go. It's the new
Mario Kart.
Mario and Standard Kart just released. It's about maybe a few days old. Pick that up at Lego.com.
Don't you want to have women at your house at some point?
God, no.
All right.
They're gross. They just want to touch your Legos. No, thank you.
Wait, Intersect $10. Forget the kids. Buy some Lego. Stop supporting his habit.
You guys are the best. And this is why I love our listeners. They know. They know. Women come and go. Legos are forever.
I don't get any of that money donated.
No, you don't.
You weren't paying for my Funkos. You weren't paying for the studio. You're not paying for the production costs or anything else.
Correct.
You're not even paying for the consumer fund. But, Jordan needs Legos and the audience stands at attention.
Yep, exactly. You can see like my new the Star Wars Legos up there. I got those next to the helmet you got me on your cruise, which I greatly appreciate. But yeah, I got new Legos right there.
Agent Rob Stark with $1 towards Jordan's Lego fund.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob. Unnecessary. I might not give him that. Why won't Jordan make him a logo?
I have been working on it. I just need to fix it up. I've been hearing your cries and laughing and laughing.
Let me point out this is why he is a successful super Hollywood agent, Mr. Rob Stark. Because he spent the $1 feature that doesn't allow you to write a comment in it. If you spend the $2, you get to write a comment in there.
Right. And then he puts his comment after the fact.
Yes.
It's perfect. He's great.
Anybody else tries pulling that shit, ain't happening. I'll gladly take your $1, but you're not getting your question or comment
ignored
read.
People's follow-up comments, correct? But no, not for our agent.
Coming out now for your viewing pleasures in theaters, the sequel to Lilo and Stitch, the 8th sequel.
It's not a sequel. It's the live-action remake.
Oh, that's not the one they teased at the Super Bowl? That's not the...
No, it's not a sequel. It's like literally a...
No, there's a second Lilo and Stitch coming. This isn't the animated one?
No, this is the live action.
Oh, all right. Well, fuck that. Anyway, Lilo and Stitch is still coming out. You can take your kids to that. A sequel for the 8th time. Mission Impossible.
Jesus Christ.
The Final Reckoning. I want to go see it. I don't think I'm going to have time this weekend to go to the movie theater to see it. I'll have to wait till next week. But I do want to see it. I do enjoy the Mission Impossible
Next week
movies.
it'll be on Paramount Plus. Just wait.
Not if Tom Cruise has anything. He's showing up at every movie theater to make sure your popcorn buckets are filled and that you're having a good time and giving the finger.
Old school usher with like a flashlight.
Yeah, he's doing all that and then giving the finger when the Nicole Kidman AMC movie thing comes up on the screen. He just double guns the middle fingers. Yeah, and then he's throwing the popcorn bucket at the screen, and then he goes and watches Minecraft down the hall because Jack Black's a genius. And also The Last Rodeo, which I'm not familiar with what that is.
Looks like one of those like Christian studio movies where like this guy comes out of retirement to do one last rodeo to help save someone's farm or something. The actor that's in it that plays the aging rodeo star is Neil McDonough. So you would know him when you saw him, but like no one knows his name. He's one of those like
I don't care.
Yeah. So that's the other big
If
movie.
any of the other good movies are sold out, which isn't happening nowadays, then you can go mosey on down to Last Rodeo if you really need air conditioning because you're one of the those people that doesn't have it. Of being informed that the second Lilo and Stitch movie came out months ago. Okay.
Yeah, now see, here's the thing. You're all wrong. That was Moana 2.
Oh, fucking face to her and to me.
So if you guys can, stop trying to school me on things.
All right. Available on the newly crowned HBO Max, soon to be just HBO. Like we said, Conan O'Brien Must Go, Season 2, Episode 3. Where did you say? Is it Austria?
Austria.
There we go. Pee-wee as himself. I've made a note. I want to watch that documentary.
That's on my list, yeah.
And then, of course, Rick and Morty Season 8. Why does that look like a 5? I don't know. It's Season 8, 11 p.m. on Adult Swim and the HBO Max platform. I saw some reviews, and people said they enjoyed it. It's a lot more action and more.
The new Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
I haven't watched since they switched the voice cast.
Right.
And maybe I have to go back and do that. I don't know if it sounds weird or it feels different when they change the cast. I know there was that whole ordeal with what's his face, but yeah, like I need to go back. That's like 3 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, man.
Something like that.
Intersect
saying Lilo and Stitch 2 came out in 2005. No, it didn't.
Yes.
Did it?
Because they talked about Experiment 626, and then they started getting all the different experiments out. It was like one of those straight to video.
So 20 years later, they came out with the live action one.
Correct.
All right. I haven't seen any of them, so I don't know. I'm pleading ignorant on this.
I love Lilo.
Amongst other things. Over on Disney Plus, Tucci in Hollywood. You sure this is Disney Plus and not
Tucci
National?
in Italy. It's Stanley Tucci.
I wanted it to be in Hollywood. You sure this isn't the National Geographic?
It's part of all the Disney stuff. It's all wrapped in together.
Okay. Because I don't know nowadays.
Like,
now you got the button bar on the bottom.
Yeah.
That gives you everything there. Plus, my combo includes HBO Max. Let me just also point out how terrible they're doing when they're bundled with all their competition. I see ads that also get HBO Max as part of this bundle. I'm like, they're not the same company. Yet HBO Max is packaged with everybody.
They're trying, yeah.
Whatever. It's Tucci in Italy because, he's obsessed with his name being Tucci, being Italian, and Italian food.
He does cooking shows now. He does Italian food, and he's got his own line.
He does wine
cookware.
reviews, I think, too.
Wine reviews. He does cookware. Like, he's married to, I think, not...
An Italian?
No, he's married to one of the Deschanel sisters. What was the one that was on Bones?
Not Zoe, the other one.
Yeah, the not Zoe.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is, but yeah, he's married to her. Yeah, it's weird.
All right. Well, she's landed in Tucci money.
Yeah.
Over on Netflix, Sarah Silverman, Postmodern. Is that a Postmortem?
It's a comedy special.
That's a comedy special?
Yeah.
And then a new season of Love, Death, and Robots?
Yeah. It looks
So this is what, 3 or 4?
Big Red Tower saying it's disappointing. I'm still going to watch it.
I never finished the second season. I loved the first season.
I think this is season 3.
All right. I'll have to go back and see. That Novocaine movie is available over at Paramount Plus. I don't know who's got Paramount Plus anymore. And then videos on demand. You have Until Dawn, The Legend of, is it Ochi?
Ochi.
And Cheech and Chong's last movie?
Yeah.
That just went right. That didn't go to the theaters at all?
It did the theater on 420. Remember that was
right.
Easter Sunday. So like they did like a very limited run and then just put it out to watch on video on demand.
Okay. Got it.
Rob is saying Love, Death, and Robots is season 3 and 4. I need to catch up. Like there are some that I have missed. But yeah.
You got to catch up on that. You got to catch up on Black Mirror season 7.
Yes, I need to finish it up.
That was actually really good.
I think once I can get past watching the rest of Andor, it frees me up to just kind of really focus on some of the stuff I've been putting off.
And as always, kids, remember, Wookiees don't live on Andor. Next week in the theaters, The Karate Kid Legends. Why? Who's giving a fuck about that? Bring Her Back. And then on Netflix, another Fear Street.
Yeah, it's the one that we found out in an exclusive interview with R.L. Stein. Our buddy Eric here went to New York Comic Con last year.
Correct.
Had the big announcement of Prom Queen. So go back and listen to that interview. It's fantastic. I love R.L. Stein. He's hilarious. But yeah, that's finally making its way to Netflix May 30th.
All right, there we go. All right, moving on to news and other things. Jordan, what do we have?
Some upsetting news, but it makes sense. Disney is pushing back the 2 Avengers movies. They were originally slated. Avengers Doomsday was going to come out May 1st of 2026. It's being pushed to December 18th.
Could you ask them not to? Because that's inconvenient for me.
Very much inconvenient.
Okay.
And then Avengers Secret Wars, there's a lot of rumor that they may be splitting that into 2 movies, but right now it's still one movie, moving from May 7th.
Split it. Make as much of this shit as you can. Do it.
I can't wait, yeah. And then that is moving to December 17th, 2027. They're saying that these are going to be the biggest Avengers movies they've ever made, so the delays are really there just to kind of make sure that they do it right. They get all the special effects right. They're not overworking people. And they've seen a lot of success releasing things during the holiday seasons like Spider-Man No Way Home and some of those movies. So I think they're going to try to capitalize on what normally is a really good holiday season for people. Go out and see these movies. So we still have to wait a little bit longer for Doomsday at least. But there's been a lot of behind the scenes leaks. There was a story where some guy snuck onto the set and was taking video before he got caught, and then his account on TikTok got banned. I'm trying to avoid as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I already hate that I know that there's a lot of cast. At this point, I'm just gonna go into not Avengers, but
I'm tired of these fucking bullshit clickbait accounts showing up on Facebook. Trying to say that the whack job from Wicked wants to be Storm.
Oh God! But see, that is unfortunately one that might be getting traction, and I hate that.
No, she's terrible. She looks like Black Skeletor, and she can't fit like Storm is quite muscular.
Yeah,
she's frail, and you could see how she was during those interviews for Wicked. She couldn't handle it, and she's going to be a superhero. Fuck off with that.
A Disney property, yeah, I know.
Right. There is a person who looks the part in the WWE currently, but I don't think she's not good on the microphone right now. So I don't think she would. If she had the mouth like The Rock or The Miz or somebody like that could speak really well, cutting promos, things like that, it'd be a no-brainer for her. Her name's Jade Cargill.
Oh, okay.
She looks like she could be Storm already because she's already got the white hair and like an incredible build. She would be perfect for that, but I mean, she's not an actress, so that ain't gonna work.
I know we were talking a few weeks back about Schwarzenegger's kid wasn't he in?
He was on White Lotus.
White Lotus. Well,
yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of traction that he might be eyeballing Cyclops' role. And we had talked about that a couple weeks back.
He
thinking that
would
might be a
fit.
good role.
He'd be
I
a good.
think so, too.
He'd be good for Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Not a lot of casting yet, but the rumor right now is that Feige's fighting with Bob
Iger. Yeah.
About
but who
how
knows if
the
that's
X-Men
true?
needs to go. I know. But like, it just, I don't know, whatever. I need Doomsday to come out. I want the
Here,
X-Men.
if that is true, here's what I think it needs to be. The X-Men, Kevin Feige is, if you don't know the story, he's complaining that X-Men needs to be more about social awareness and real life stories that are going on, because that's what X-Men was. It was fighting about prejudice and racism and sexism, all of that stuff. Yeah, do that, but not out the gate. Right?
You could still do it. I mean, look how well X-Men 97 did, and it dealt exactly with what...
That's different. You're going to get more of an audience for the movie than you are for the animated TV show, right? More people that aren't familiar with a lot of all of this stuff going to see the movie than watching the animated show. Come in with a big bang with the X-Men. You're bringing them into the universe. Start off with a big action. I get what Bob Iger's talking about, and the way they've been hit or miss with a lot of the Marvel stuff, they got to start making traction with a lot of the money they lost, right? Yeah. Do that just to get them set up in the world here to do all of that action stuff, all of that cool shit. Then go more into what the X-Men really is. Do all of that next. But to start, get the asses in seats, make the money, big blockbuster action film, then break it down to Xavier's school about, Magneto's past, the island. What was his island?
Well, there was Asteroid M, and then there was Genosha.
Yeah. Start getting into all of that stuff, and then, bringing back the old stories about them fighting against Congress in the United States, all of that should work. That needs to be there, but maybe not just to start.
The original Fox X-Men still dealt with those kinds of themes and was still a success. You can do that without it being ham-fisted.
As an X-Men movie. There's no X-Men movies happening. This is part of the Avengers stuff that's happening and the closing of
the stuff in Avengers and Doomsday is going to be almost like how Deadpool kind of killed off the rest of the X-Men world. They're bringing in old characters. They're not casting the new characters yet. So like the Schwarzenegger character.
Really? Because they're still talking about what's his name from Breaking Bad as being Wars. Xavier. But he's already in the MCU as not Cobra, the fucking the mercenary.
Part of the Serpent Society.
Serpent Society, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be. I think because they've already made him too high profile in this the last.
Yeah, he can't be
Captain America movie. There's no way they're going to make him that. So
I just think bringing them in, establishing them through the Avengers movies and stuff, all action stuff. Then when you go to set up an Avengers movie, then do all that stuff. I don't think that's wrong.
I think you can do both, but we'll see. I don't know.
Moving
on to something that'll appeal to you, my friend. The actor Chiwetel Ejiofor and Christian Milioti are circling a movie based off a video game and video YouTube series, The Backrooms.
This is exciting.
A24 is going to be producing it. It's supposed to be a sci-fi horror flick based on the viral series of found footage videos from the creator Kane Parsons. For people who don't know what this is, this was a project that they announced back in 2023. There's really no plot set, but this game or these videos, it's a 90s set original short watching a young filmmakers fall into another dimension, leaving him wandering through the unsettlingly yellow and empty labyrinthine office space, which may or may not be home to otherworldly beings. So think of Eric wandering around vacant malls, but make it really, really creepy.
You should be happy I'm getting more and more into the horror genre, but just not the way you are. Not the way that you like a lot of the horror stuff. I'm going more of the creepy terror stuff.
I mix. Like, I don't always need like the torture porn stuff, but sometimes it's fun to watch someone get ripped in half. But here we are.
Intersex saying, I love they found the source of the original Backrooms photo.
Yeah. So it'll be great. It's part of what they call creepypasta, which I really hate that term. Or like an internet urban legend, which is, I guess it came out like in 2019. So the fact that they've waited this long to make a movie when things like Skibbity Toilet are already getting movies starting like next
Backrooms was one of those things that spun off of Roblox.
Yes.
Because that's where I learned of Roblox. And I was like, I got to pay for Roblox in order to pay another $2 in order to get the Backrooms. And it became so popular, they separated it from Roblox and made it its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
If Backrooms does well, because there's all these weird levels and stuff, then they could start exploring if they make like a sequel to it. Remember the videos I used to show you about the slides?
Yeah, those were crazy.
Yeah, so if they could start doing that, that's hilarious.
Intersect is saying the Backrooms is from 4chan like a decade ago, 2019. So not quite a full decade, but yeah, it was pretty far back there, which is weird to think that 2019 was that far ago.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of terrible, horrible things, Sesame
terrible.
Street.
You want to talk terrible, horrible things? Try to fill in your birth date on some forms, and you got to spin that dial back into the 19s.
It's like you're doing the wheel on fucking Price is Right. You're just like,
come on, $1.
70s.
All right.
Yeah, it's terrible. Sesame Street. Last, I think a couple months ago, Warner Brothers and Discovery said that they will not be continuing with their partnership with the PBS Kids show. Sesame Street is now coming to Netflix with new and old episodes starting this year, which is very surprising. I thought they maybe be next year, but this year.
I'm still amazed that Disney hasn't done anything with this.
Considering they were really like almost hand in hand with the Henson Company.
Well, Sesame Street was created by the Henson Company, but left in the care when he died of ownership of the Children's Television Workshop, which was the production company to make it, and PBS. So even though if it's not airing on PBS or wasn't airing on PBS with the HBO deal, PBS still was making money off of it because they were given rights to some of it. But the other half of the Henson Company, Disney owns all the other stuff there. So it would just seem like, you know how Disney is. You'd think we could get the rights to Sesame Street. We could bring Sesame Street to the Magic Kingdom. You'd think they would have jumped on that, but they didn't. It was weird.
Yeah. So it looks like they inked a deal to air the show's 56th season with, quote, fresh format changes and the return of fan favorite segments like Elmo's World and Cookie Monster's Foodie Truck, which actually I really did like that segment. The streamer will also run 90 hours of previous episodes from the iconic series' library. Another big change is that under the deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, new episodes will first run on Max and then on PBS months later. Now PBS stations and PBS Kids will air new episodes on the same day and date that they're streamed on Netflix. So whereas they weren't allowed to get that stuff because Max was kind of hiding it behind the paywall, Netflix is going to do day and date, which is really good because a lot of the time when you think these were on PBS, part of the Children's Television Network, you want people to have access to that. And when you hide it behind the paywall, especially with someone like Discovery and Max, a lot of kids were not getting that. You know, you had to pay for it. So Netflix doing, I think, a really good PR move, giving everybody the access, even when it's hidden behind the paywall. So that'll be good. Yeah, so Warner Brothers is going to be done. It's going to Netflix. Whether or not they continue past season 56, I'm not sure. I think they're going to be smart. They will keep that going and put their money into it. But right now, we're at least getting one more season, 90 hours of content, and day of content going right to PBS and PBS Kids, which is fantastic. So Alex Garland is set to direct a live-action version of Elden Ring for A24. A24 has usually been pretty artsy. Like, they do a lot of artsy horror movies. They do things like Casey in the chat brought up today for me The Green Knight, which is a very good A24 movie. It's hard to recommend that to people because it's very artsy, but it's a very good story. But they're going to go the video game route and produce and put out Elden Ring, which is a very popular video game. I suck at it. I will admit that I suck at it. It's one of those very punishing games where if you die, you're dead. You got to go back to whatever. I'm getting just too too old in my video game playing to like find things that punish me. I don't need to be punished. I'm sitting there doing Power Wash Simulator like we've talked about. Like I'm fine with those kinds of things. There's a firefighter simulator I just downloaded on my Xbox.
I told you about the other simulator, right?
Yeah.
The cash cleaning one.
The cash cleaning one where you just
people are just dropping off money. It's like, you got to launder this. You got to figure out. Yeah.
So yeah, Alex Garland, who has made about, I think 4 out of his 5 movies for A24, is going to be doing that. Most people know him as doing Ex Machina. He did Civil War this last year. He did a movie called Men. He does write the movies, the 28 Days and 28 Years Later trilogy. He's the writer for that. So we're going to see another one of those. So he's going to be doing Elden Ring, which seems kind of interesting. More video game news. SAG-AFTRA is suing Epic Games over AI used for Darth Vader's voice in Fortnite. So for people that don't know, I think it was last year.
Go ahead.
What's his face?
James Earl Jones.
James. I was blanking. You were looking like you were going to say something.
Well, I didn't want to tread on you, so go ahead.
Okay, so James Earl Jones famously signed a deal last year before he passed, giving the rights of his voice likeness and his voice to be used in any capacity when it comes to the
Star Wars.
iconic role of Darth Vader.
Right.
So like that is his legacy. He said, I want it to live on. So he signed a deal signing those voice rights away to Disney. So Disney could do whatever they want. Disney, in partnership with Epic Games and Fortnite, said, we are going to try something new. So this past week, give or take a week, Fortnite has been doing a lot of Star Wars stuff in honor of May the 4th. They've been doing a lot of season stuff. Their past this time around has a lot of Star Wars characters. Me and my kid are playing it. It's pretty fun. I love Star Wars stuff, so of course I'm going to play. But they put Darth Vader in this game. So there's the ability to go in. You have to fight Darth Vader in the game while you're trying to fight off everybody else. And when you do that, you get him down. You get the ability to get him as a teammate. What's really cool about it is that if you have a microphone, you press the little button on your controller, and you can ask or talk to or get Darth Vader to talk to you using AI. Mm-hmm. So it's not just canned responses. He is responding to you. He is talking to you. The other day I was playing with my kid and I was asking it questions. We were talking about Han Solo and Carbonite, to the point where I was like, let's see what I can do. Because I have been hearing stories, and Jared the Geek even brought it up. People, and now they've since patched it, were getting him to cuss, be racist. You know how the internet does. Say just the worst thing.
The fun things, yes.
The fun stuff. But for me, I thought, let's see what we can do. So I was talking to Darth Vader about this show.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting it to talk about It's Eric Nagel, talking about podcasts being a distraction. And it was fantastic. I was laughing so hard that we were able to do this that I actually sent it over to you. I was like, look at this shit. Like, it was so funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to
see if you can patch it in.
Get the video into here so we can look at it.
So the story right now, while you're doing that, is that SAG-AFTRA, of course, is pissed off that they were able to do that. So they filed an unfair labor practice charge against Llama Productions on Monday, alleging that the company replaces actors' work by using artificial intelligence to generate Darth Vader's voice in Fortnite without notice.
Why do they have to be noticed if he signed off his rights to the company, to Lucas?
Here's the problem. This is them just trying to get in the spotlight again. The two things is that he signed his likeness, his voice likeness, to the company to do with whatever they want, because you're right on that. And two, the actor is dead. Once you die, you are no longer a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, and you're not defending on his behalf if his family,
correct,
who benefits and it oversees a lot of this stuff here, if they've signed off on it too, you can't step in and go, where's my cut?
Right. So their reasoning is they, quote, failed and refused to bargain in good faith with the union in the last 6 months. The company made unilateral changes to the terms and conditions of employment without providing notice to the union or the opportunity to bargain by using AI-generated voices to replace bargaining unit work, SAG-AFTRA has said. This is a stupid, stupid thing. He signed his rights away.
Mm-hmm.
He went and said, yeah, this is exactly what I want you to do with it. Let Darth
and
Vader
his family
live on. This is
benefits
my
from
legacy.
it. Yeah.
family benefits. People get to hear more things. The fact that they're trying to sue on behalf of his family is ridiculous. And I think it's a shitty cash grab. Like, I understand you don't want to have a situation where AI is replacing living, working actors to replace them. I understand that. People deserve to be paid for the body of work that they do. But when they have a voice actor that says, I know I'm passing away soon, I'm getting older, I'm going to set up my family for life, I'm going to let my character who people love me for live on, of course I'm going to do it. They have no standing in this.
Right.
And I think it's just, I think it's going to get thrown out based off the fact that he signed that deal. And, it's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it wasn't underhanded. It wasn't, sneaky tactics or anything or some kind of loophole where they're using old footage to do all of this stuff without paying proper rights. He completely signed off to Lucas to use this stuff. They've got no say in it. So
now, Woodpit 420 is saying AI needs to be used as a helpful tool, not to replace humans. I am fine with not replacing humans in a lot of things. AI is a scary thing. AI is getting too real in a lot of things. I know
we're going to talk next week about the Google announcement that came out today.
Yeah, Google just put out some new stuff that is, I've seen some of the footage and it is scary good as far as what it looks like. And we are advancing way too much and too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's here. We have to learn how to use the tools that are in there and not abuse it. I think because he signed the stuff away, I think in this case, they're using it in a way that makes sense. They're not just getting Darth Vader to shill the new Dr. Pepper coconut and do ads.
Coconut cream, Dr. Pepper.
Right.
I don't have the thing. No, I don't
This
have the
is
thing.
CNN. Like, just like little things like that. And I think it's a slippery slope, but this is what this was intended for. And I was having fun with it. So,
and yet, our focus must remain on securing this area.
My name is Wesley.
Acknowledged apprentice, but names are fleeting things.
I don't think this is the Eric Nagel version.
What is your designation in this squad?
No, this is the one you sent me.
No, this is I sent you two. This is the one with my kid playing through the whole thing.
Oh.
You can play it. He doesn't say anything weird. No one's going to find my kid. I don't care.
No, it's not that. I didn't see. Oh, there is two of them. My bad. Okay.
Silly goose.
Well, you get it. So
yeah, you get it. Like you can tell him your name, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to be called by this? Like this is not befitting of a Jedi." Or like he talks about like all kinds of like it's interesting what you can do with it and how it responds to you almost instantaneously. So I was having fun with it. I'm not one of those jerks that are making him say stupid stuff. Like my kid at some point was because, of course, my kid's always watching YouTube and seeing other people do stuff. So he tends to parrot a lot of that stuff. So he was asking about Mufasa, and then you could hear James Earl Jones as Darth Vader talking about Mufasa leading, but not like committing to being a leader or something like that. It's silliness. It's fun. I don't care.
All right, we'll play it next week because I can't get it over here.
Because we're going to do a lot of AI talk because we do have a lot of stuff to go over, not only in the radio business, but like overall AI.
Yeah,
so
a lot of AI for the show next week.
So moving on, I'm going to actually load some video pictures real quick. This goes with this. So there's a band called The Devil Wears Prada. They had a former drummer, Daniel Williams. Him and his manager and 4 other people were killed this morning in a plane crash in San Diego. 6 people died. The plane clipped a power line in San Diego suburb. According to the statement from the Federal Aviation Committee, it sparked intense flames, destroyed homes, destroyed dozens of vehicles, and forced the evacuation of more than 100 people. No one else was killed on the ground, but everybody on board, unfortunately, has passed. And I'm actually going to see if I can post the pictures here real quick. This is just nuts. Let me get in the downloads here. We'll load these. Do that. This is one of them. Look at that. This was from a small plane crashing into a house in San Diego this morning.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we'll do another one here. And then this was the house that it crashed into. Pretty wild. No one's has any video footage. If we find it, obviously we'll talk about it. But yeah, this happened this morning. He was the drummer of The Devil Wears Prada, which is a band that I've listened to, and it's kind of sad. He hasn't been the drummer for a couple years now, but yeah, him and like 5 other people passing.
That is a horrible way to go.
Hitting a power line, and unfortunately passing away himself. Kind of a bummer. So anyway, let's end the show. Just kidding. And then the last story, you talked about this earlier, and I saved this for last so we can shit on this guy. The Borderlands boss, Randy Pitchford, addresses a real fans tweet controversy. This is kind of a big deal because it deals with a lot of what we're doing. Randy Pitchford addressed the backlash of his Borderlands 4 $80 real fans tweet. He basically had an exchange with another person online. And this is kind of the exchange that happened. Someone wrote into him and he goes, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take the risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. And this is about Borderlands 4, which is coming out soon.
Are they still with 2K or no?
I believe they are still 2K. Yeah.
Okay.
So his response was A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starfight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen.
Oh, fuck you.
What a fucking tone-deaf response to someone wanting to make sure
screw him.
They can get their game. The response to his tweet was very negative. Someone saying, I'm going to pirate Borderlands 4. Another user said, please stop, just apologize and move on. This isn't fair to your developers. If you care about them, just do the right thing. Another person said, Randy, we're begging you to stop. Borderlands 4 had so much hype and is being ruined in a day. Let people want to like and support the game and all the amazing people who make it. And it's really, really ridiculous that he is so tone deaf on what's going on in the world and what in the industry.
What was his response?
His response was, in seriousness, though, nobody likes being taken for granted, and it's not my intent. I'm humbled by the love and support everyone has shown to the team as we push hard to get this amazing game in your hands. They're crushing it, and I can't wait for everyone to play what's going to be the best Borderlands ever. Regardless of where the price lands, it's going to be worth it, and then some. Back to work for me. So he didn't apologize. He just basically said, no, I hear you, but it's going to be what it's going to be. You just kind of have to deal with it. It's a good game. Please play it.
I know of the franchise. I've never played.
The first 2 are great. The third one I didn't like.
Somebody gave me the first 2.
Those are good.
It's still not they're not opened. I've never opened them. So I have
a Telltale game of one of the characters that was actually really good too. But yeah,
I have them here. And it's not like you can't ever, unlike movies and TV shows, you can't go back and play old games unless it's on some kind of streaming thing like a Game Pass or Steam or something like that.
Right.
You can't just go back and play these old games if you don't have an Xbox 360.
Nope.
So I have 2 games here. I don't know what to do with them, but somebody sent them to me. It's like, I think you really like them. And I just never got around to opening them and playing them. So
we'll send them to a
I was interested in that Borderlands movie, and then that looked like total shit.
That was so bad.
So yeah, I remember how bad it was when the reviews and everybody was saying like, was that another movie Jack Black's in?
Yeah, he was Claptrap.
Yeah,
which is
right.
A fantastic character, but it was just so poorly executed. Now, Intersect is bringing up a good point. A couple years ago, Randy Pitchford, who's the one we're talking about, he dropped a USB at medieval times of, I don't know if it's alleged, I don't know whatever happened, I don't know how much money he made to like make this go away, of questionable child pornography on a USB stick at medieval times. And I'm like, dude, maybe you don't want to say shit to rile up people who just sit there on the internet and find old shit to talk about.
Right.
And so a lot of people are bringing this up now and they're hating on him. And it's just, it's very tone deaf. It's very, I mean, right now we're dealing with price hikes with the Xbox going up. PlayStation did it a few weeks back.
Tariff for imports.
The tariff stuff. And then we've got Nintendo trying to set the bar high for $80. And people are freaking out about that. And that's why they're responding to him this way and saying, look, we want to support you, but we're not going to spend $80 for a Borderlands.
Yeah, $80 to $100 need to be special occasion things, like when the different versions of GTA come out. I know one's like $100 or something like that, but if you're getting a whole bunch of extra shit with it, whether you like it or not, it still kind of justifies the price for it. Some of the Madden stuff, the 2K Sports stuff, all have extra stuff for you. Like you get your essential battle pass, if you will, for your season, that kind of, all those things come with it. You're getting what you pay for. If you're just saying, well, no, the new standard's $80. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not paying $80 for Luigi's Mansion, or something like that. Not that it's not a great game, but they're not tentpole franchises that you're expecting a lot for your money on those things there. If you're just saying, well, games are $80 now. Well, no, they're not. And that it's just like concerts. It's just like sporting events, just like everything else. I tell everybody, stop buying these things. I know you like them. I know you want to play them. I do too. But you got to draw the line somewhere and say, stop. We're not doing this anymore, or else they're going to keep doing it. And then everyone bitches and complains, well, games are $100 now. It's like, yeah, because you keep buying them.
They started doing this when the Xbox 360 came out, and this applies to the new remaster of some of these games where they were charging dollars to just buy armor, and then that sparked a huge controversy. And then when you get things like Modern Warfare and stuff like that, they're like, oh, we're going to do a season pass, but it's going to be $30 instead of $20, or more than $15. And then everyone buys into it. Then they're like, well, now we know we can set it here and no one's going to blink. So we're like playing pricing chicken with these things. And you're right. If people support it and they give in, that's what we're doing. That's what's going to happen. Mario Kart for $80 digital. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the part that's not really being reported. It's Mario Kart digital. The physical copy of Mario Kart for this new Switch is $90. $90. And that doesn't guarantee any future
updates, upgrades, any of that
updates,
stuff. Yeah,
DLC.
Like
that's it. So right now we're in a weird spot where everything's going up, and video games, I understand a lot of work gets put into these things. They're gorgeous. They deserve that kind of stuff. But to tell us you'll find a way, just deal with it, makes me not want to buy your shit. Yeah, it was the Oblivion horse armor. And it's like, why am I spending $5 on horse armor? It does nothing. Just looks like it. Mm-hmm. But now that they did it, things like Fortnite, things like all these things with season passes, that's why these things exist, because we let it keep happening. And it's ridiculous for him to be this tone deaf about it. Keep quiet, make the game. There was a lot of hype behind it, and now people are going to associate this shit.
All right. Whippet in chat saying when people see $80, they think $100. $100 is a big barrier for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was mad when they went to like $59. And then when the new systems came out, the PS5 and the Xbox, $69 was the going rate. And I don't do that much anymore. Like, I will not buy new games unless I
go back even further. Remember, Nintendo games were $50.
$50, yeah.
In the 90s.
And that's what you used to buy a Game Boy for.
Yeah.
$49.99. And now games are the same price.
Intersect in the chat. It's over $100 in Canada.
Yeah, but that's because you guys have loonies and toonies.
Yes.
You guys have weird monopoly money.
And weird government up there, too. But all dress chips and all are forgiven.
Oh, I love all dress chips. Right. We did get another super chat.
I see that. I'm going to all of that right here as we're getting ready to leave. Super chat. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Where's that? There it is. John Troutman with $10. What is SGD?
I don't know. because I know I think Intersect had a CA, so I know
that means Canada or California. They might as well be their own thing. Anyway, John says, love you and love the show. I followed your career and appreciate the many years of great content. Thank you for keeping the show alive through the good and tough times. Well, John, we are happy to have you. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, notifications, all of that stuff's free. Glad you're checking out the live show. If you're doing audio mostly on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all those places, also good. But give the YouTube a subscribe. You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, they were coming in saying it's Singaporean money.
All right.
Singapore.
So that means like what, $1.380 that we're getting out of that? I don't know the conversion rates anymore. Adam Schechter in the chat. Hi, Iraq. He's probably doing voice to text. I really think if Jimmy is going to co-host with Anthony Cumia's show on WABC and syndicated all across this great land of ours, announced if he's going to co-host, as Anthony announced, he was once a month today. He said, co-host, you really should be a part of it because you three together are excellent. Not my place to say, but who knows? Who knows?
For all the audio listeners, he's winking heavily at the camera.
And jerk-off motions in every direction. I think this Sunday night, Jimmy's back on with Anthony on WABC. If you don't have the app, get the WABC radio app, or you can listen online. Or if you're in any of, I think he's over 35 markets now at this point. So
who, Hannity?
Hannity?
I said Anthony.
Oh, I thought you said Hannity. Anthony, yeah. So
Sean Hannity?
Yeah, Sean Anthony.
Sean Anthony.
The basketball player? I don't know. It sounds like a basketball player's name. What do I know?
Please.
He's also following up. Yeah, you really bring another aspect to the show that makes it very similar to the O&A show. Look, we got a lot of great feedback when Jimmy did the show with Anthony last month, and I was up there. People loved it. So who knows? Keep reaching out to them.
When he was on Fox with Kennedy, I'm like, oh, it's Kennedy.
Yeah, and I said, oh, Jimmy, black is so slimming. And he wrote me a little message saying he enjoyed that. So,
nice.
All right, we do need to get out of here. It is that time. We've been here way too long, so we have to do the plugs. Jordan, our nation's eyes are turning to you.
You can follow me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube at Jinx Ronan. I actually did just get a new subscriber the other day on my YouTube channel. I guess I should probably put some content with there's a big red tower joined up. So thank you. I appreciate that. You could also find me on Twitch, Jinx Ronan 79.
He's been playing games on Twitch.
I am trying to stream a little bit more. I was doing some Doom. I'm going to start doing some more stuff. I think it's easier for me when I'm doing Xbox stuff to stream to Twitch because it's all interfaced. If I do anything on PlayStation, I can do it on YouTube. So I'll start kind of alternating.
Jordan, you could do it. Put your back into it.
That's right. If you guys want to use your Amazon subscription, if you guys are already subscribing to Amazon, go over to Twitch at It's Eric Nagel. Go and use your free Twitch subscription. Give us a little click. Do it monthly. It helps us out. It costs you nothing extra. And you can support the show in that way.
All right.
Thanks.
Very good. For me and all of that fun stuff there, you can see it across the bottom of the screen. But if you're listening on the audio, that doesn't help you at all. So let me narrate it for you. Across the board on all the social medias at It's Eric Nagel. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you're the one that's doing it. Please find our show and place it as your #1 preset on the app. If you're on Apple and Spotify, do us a kindness. Leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we do this hunk of shit, you can come over to YouTube, and I should stop saying that. YouTube and on Twitch, all under at It's Eric Nagel. Hit like and subscribe. It's free. It'll tell you everything that is going on. It'll notify you when we're there or when we have the uploads for clips and the produced video of this show. When that all finalizes and goes up there, it notifies you and lets you know that, hey, something that you might be interested in is available for you to enjoy. That is it, right? Scanning the chat. We're all good. Good there. Everything's going good. Peace, boys. Thank you, Mr. Woodpit. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat today. Thank you for those who were throwing your money around hazardously towards Jordan's Lego obsession.
Yeah,
there's nothing more we can do about that. But we can say until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other.
We'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
Quitting time!
Quitting time! Thank God it's Friday.
Thursday.
Same thing. See you Monday.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.